You've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Step up and take what's yours. You are kings now, Clash of Titans.
Full time.
All right. Hey, everyone. Anthony for Tornado Attack Podcast. I probably should have pulled up episode number. Let me pull it up real quick. If you guys are...
79,
I believe.
What is it? 61?
Okay, it was awful.
I think you are correct. I think it is 61.
I've got it now because it's 2 behind Murder, my dude. So I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yes, it is 61.
There you go.
I am all caught up on Murder Dude as Murder Dude, Murder My Dude as well.
Murder Dude.
I gave you a plug on Facebook as well. They were talking
I did
about.
notice that, yeah.
They were talking about Dark Side of the Ring on the one thread, and I was like, and they talked about Rock and Rebel. I said, hey, my buddy's podcast covered it. Go check it out.
Yeah.
I
think that
Yeah,
would
buddy
make a
Frank Boris brought that up.
Yeah, Frank Forrest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would make a good episode.
Yeah, that was a great episode. They did a great job on it. Murder Within Wrestling. But yeah, if you guys like what you hear, hit that like, subscribe button. Go over and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We all have, every single one of them have a platform now. You can go follow and check everything out. We are looking to do a new segment on the show where we do interviews, but not part of the podcast. So like an interview would come out if we did one like later on in the week. So it's more of a one-on-one thing. So we're not trying to cram your story in between wrestling content.
Yeah, which is smart.
I filmed the first one, actually not filmed, but recorded the first one actually before this podcast. I talked to the guys from High Tension who didn't get a chance to do their show, but
Which
they
would
are.
have been what?
Yeah, it would have been last Saturday.
Yeah, last Saturday.
So I did talk to 2 guys that are part of the podcast team, Andy and Matt here. So maybe we'll hear their stories coming up really soon, and then we'll open the door to other superstars and wrestlers. I know a lot of people said they're interested, and so. We'll have some fun. Yeah, especially.
Have nothing to do.
I have nothing to do but record, so we'll definitely get some of those interviews out so you guys can check them out. Like I said, we do have a merch page. Big sale coming up soon to check that out. And we are 2 sales away. We have 3 days to sell 2 items.
Oh.
If we sell those 2 items, Teespring is going to do a giveaway for us.
And that is-
They're going to host a giveaway.
Is it all the pages or just Tornado Tag?
All the pages.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So anytime, if you go on any of the pages and you buy a piece of merch, it goes towards our credit. It will be the first time on our merch page history that we hit our sales goal 3 weeks in a row. I'm sure.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
We would have to play a 3 Counts theme song.
Yeah.
in order for that.
Here's the thing: if you sell a lot on Teespring, you unlock more items to sell, and I really want trucker hats. Like you can get hats, 3 different style hats, beanies, pins, like lapel pins.
I think a hat would be one of the first things.
Book bags,
T-shirt hat.
Yeah, book
Not
bags.
T-shirt, leggings, a baby onesie.
Yeah, book bags and duffel bags, bathing suit, more bathing suits, shower curtains. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can unlock, but I really, really want baseball hats because I want a Tornado Tag base. Cause I'm a hat guy, obviously, and me, if I'm growing my hair back out, I need hats to cover that soccer mom face.
I would definitely rep a beanie.
You're not the hat guy, are you?
Yeah.
Yikes!
No, not
We're
the hat.
we're shooting already.
Hey, I know the hat guy, so just so you know that.
I'm not sure who.
He managed you, right? Did he, Eddie?
Yeah. John Bailey's his real name.
Oh, I'm not.
He's a great guy.
Oh, I'm not actually sure what we're even talking about. I'm a WWE mark. I'm still learning other stuff. Yeah, so definitely go check that stuff out, and we'll link to everything else, and we'll get the rest of our plugs in. But the on the phone we have Tyler, Bryan, and Matt from Blue and Gold.
Hello.
And then at the table we have Andy and Austin home from school.
Where?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Austin's here. So we're super excited about that. I think we're actually going to be doing a little watch party for Money in the Bank at his house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm really pumped for that.
We're going to be sitting 6 feet apart, though. Don't worry.
Yeah. Probably not, but I'm just being honest.
Much like AEW's crowd.
Yeah, AEW.
6 feet apart.
Hey, in the other section that wasn't wrestlers, there was people like randomly. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was
I'm
cool.
sure they're all trainees and stuff.
Like fans or like
Yeah.
there were some kids there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's family, probably.
Yeah, family.
But that
and
was
stuff.
cool.
At the very beginning of the show, Jim Ross was talking about, we're practicing social distancing. Then during the brawl at the end, there's like 80 people watching.
Yeah.
And
Kenny
Jim Ross-
Omega and Matt Hardy running down.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember Sammy Guevara's name there for a second.
Yeah.
And Jim Ross is like what 5 inches from Tony Schiavone and Excalibur.
Yeah. Yeah, so that all was interesting. What else was I going to plug real quick? We're going to be doing a live stream. I'm going to shoot for like 11:30, 12. If everyone can't make it, I completely understand, but whoever can, that's part of the podcast. I'm going to go live on Facebook. I'm also going to record it and then put it up as soon as I'm finished. I have a lot of shit to do Saturday, so I definitely want to start it earlier, but we're going to do a pro wrestling scorecards episode just by itself because it gives us time after Friday to get everything done. So we're going to play pro wrestling scorecards. So I will send the link to everyone. If you don't have a pro wrestling scorecards, you might have to manually fill one out and send it to us, or go out and print your own out if you can't get on the digital app, because I don't think I have any more codes, and I'm not sure if they're letting people in for this one. I have not been up to date on my pro wrestling scorecard stuff. They did say after Mania though it will be open for more people.
Okay.
So Matt, if you want to jump on pro wrestling
And then the world blew
scorecards,
up.
yeah, and then the world blew
Sure,
up.
I'll
So
take a
who
look at
knows? But yeah, you can do it right from your phone. It's really, really fun.
I think they posted the card already. Seen something the other day.
They have some of it, but I think they're waiting for after SmackDown.
I know they usually do, but it came up and I was like, maybe it's just saying it's coming soon. So
Yeah.
what was that?
So we're gonna do a Facebook live stream and let other people join in and hang out and maybe make their predictions, and we can do our fantasy booking. And we'll wait for that. So we'll talk a little Money in the Bank, but for the most part, we're gonna wait for Saturday to do that. But we're gonna cover some news real quick and then jump into Impact, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and AEW, and then have our Wednesday night war debate. But the first topic I have here is
Hold on. Tony.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to get this like live news for here. Apparently, there are still open spots in the digital beta. No code necessary if you go to ProWrestlingScorecards.com. And so, yeah, everybody can join in.
Yep, go get on that, because you can join us, and I believe after the beta's over, he's going to make a group for us. Or actually, you can. I think we have a group made, and you can join it. And then we have our own Tornado Tag podcast group, and then it groups us all by just us, and then it groups us with the community as well. So you can find out where you rank with us. I know right now Tyler's our defending champion, so we got to come for Tyler at Money in the Bank.
We tend to do pretty well during
Yes,
the
sir.
Tag podcast, so I
Yeah.
hope the rest of the community that joins in can also represent
It's
us
funny,
well.
man, because for a while there when we were filling them out, we're like, we fucking suck. Like, overall points is like 300, and we're finishing like 97.
Yep.
And then we enter this online community, and we're like, we're top 15, sometimes top 10, and I believe at least someone from our podcast has won it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I think
I've won
Bryan,
before.
yeah.
Tyler's won before you.
I
And
think
by the way, Tony,
I have a win too, I believe.
you've been. I don't know if have you been number one on the whole thing? I know you've been.
I think so.
Number
I think
one
I
among
tied
us.
for first with
Oh, wow.
somebody the one time. Like, I tied with somebody on the community, not one of our guys, but I think I tied for first.
So by the way, you may want to, if possible, schedule that a little later on Saturday, because it looks like they are dropping the actual scorecard Saturday at 2:00.
Shit.
Is the scheduled time for the scorecard.
Shit. Okay. Yeah, that's
we
gonna be tough. We'll figure it out. We'll get it done. I'll figure something out. But yeah, I have another live stream we're doing later on that day, so I got to figure out. Maybe we'll do it like at 2. We'll start the stream at 2, get it done within like an hour, and then I'll be good. That's what we'll go. We'll shoot for that.
adapt and overcome.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Listen, empty arena shows are figuring it out. We'll figure it out. So first thing, the internet's really buzzing about this topic, and I want to get our debates on it and see what we think, because I feel like we come at things at a realistic level and sometimes more of a positive spin than what the internet likes to do. But a lot of debate right now with with Roman Reigns and people thinking he's being punished for not going to Mania, and he's being erased from the record books, and he's not being talked about, and they're doing all these terrible things. Is anyone in that camp in this podcast? Just wondering.
No.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think he's in trouble in the sense of that they're trying to make everybody forget about him. I do think Vince is pissed off, but it's not going to affect his push because he still thinks Roman's the top guy.
Yeah. I think all of us in agreement, just kind of before we started recording this, is we all kind of feel like they're doing it to maybe get people to forget about him, so when he returns, it's a bigger pop,
But
which I don't think
that's-
Roman needs.
No, I would just.
And just in general with like
I wouldn't erase him.
Yeah.
Just keep him around.
Right. Regardless, people are going to remember him.
Yeah.
It's Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You've been shoving him down our throats for fucking 5 years.
It's
Exactly.
not like, Chad Gable's back. Oh, I forgot about Chad.
No, but I think like in general, even with like what I was saying before we started recording with the WWE community ad, he's all over that as like the Make-A-Wish
Yeah.
stuff. It's like him, Becky, Cena.
Like they don't
all
even do
over
the
it.
intro for SmackDown. Like, are you ready? Because he's all over that.
yeah.
Right.
Like, they don't even do that.
I can see that Vince. Well, if he's not going to show, I'm putting him in the intro. God damn it.
yeah.
But like to the same degree, it makes sense if he's not going to be on. Don't
Yeah,
advertise
but
him.
I mean, he's one of their stars right now. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be like in the '80s. Hogan's not on the show. You know, Hogan in the intro. Come on.
yeah.
Like,
All right. Well, that one.
By the way, did
I mean,
anybody
Go ahead.
did anybody see that thing on NXT where they actually for the first time said COVID-19 on
wow.
on NXT?
No,
Holy
it's
shit.
Yeah.
It was-
Yep.
It was one of those public relations like things where I guess a lot of different athletes and everybody were like putting tape over their name on their jerseys and writing the name of like
Yes,
a nurse or a doctor or somebody, and they had Charlotte saying that they're the real queens, like this is the real queen. It was like a picture of a nurse, and they had actually brought up for the first time like the whole thing,
wow.
and it was also the first appearance of John Cena since he went in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
There's a couple Johns
They
in
brought
that
it up on
promo.
AEW as well. The AEW they mentioned it a couple times about COVID-19.
But they
Yeah,
have
they've been a little
mentioning
more.
that.
Yeah, they've been a little more open with it. WWE gets very picky about like things they won't say.
Yeah. Who here has watched the new episode of Dark Side of the Ring?
I have not.
I have.
I have.
I haven't watched it.
Oh my, Brian, I'll let you take it away with this one because you were plugging the hell out of this last week and just kind of setting the table for us to what to expect. So take us into this episode a little bit. We'll kind of talk briefly about it.
So this week's Dark Side of the Ring was about Herb Abrams and the UWF, not the Bill Watts UWF, the second UWF in the late '80s, early '90s.
Or the UWF from Japan, the shoot
Yeah.
style.
That's right, yeah, the second American UWF. And Herb Abrams was a guy who was a larger than life personality, we'll say.
Jesus,
Even
yeah.
though
He
he's
made his
5
money, and
foot.
I didn't know. Yeah, exactly. I love the subtitle list. It was "Cocaine and Cowboy Boots" was the subtitle of this episode.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
And I learned in this that Herb Abrams made his money selling plus size women's clothing. That was how he made his fortune.
And the name of the
then
store was so good. I'm a big girl now.
It was the pull-up. Yeah.
Oh boy, could that be the title of this episode?
I'm a big girl now. Picture
There we
Nia
go.
Jax.
That's where Nia Jax got her theme song from.
Yeah.
That's where Nia Jax got her song.
Hey, now I love Nia. She's
If it came
She's
along
grown
now,
on me a
I'm not
lot.
like most girls now.
She's grown on me a lot. now.
Exactly.
It's the opposite for me.
Really?
I think she's gotten worse.
Yeah, it's the opposite for me. The more people she hurts because she's sloppy as hell, the more I can't stand her.
listen. She created Becky Lynch.
I think she's just adding to the fire that's already been created.
Yeah.
Like when she came out this week and like knocked over the ropes from like the valet thing, she quote tweeted the gif of that and said, "Velvet ropes out 2 to 3 weeks." Like she's very aware of what she's doing.
right
and
before
it's funny.
she had to go get double knee surgery, she came out every week and she would rub her fist like,
Yeah.
Which is smart, but like like Bruce Pritchard said, and that bell has to ring.
yeah. She's I don't know.
That's why I was. Brian brought this up last week, but I was so interested to see if she would be on her P's and Q's when she wrestled Asuka and Shayna Baszler in that triple threat, because it's like she can't toss them around just willy nilly because they'll punch her in the face.
Yeah. She took a
She'll
pretty
shoot back.
they took a pretty big drop kick. Like they both double drop kicked the shit out of her. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But go ahead, Brian, if you want to jump back into a dark side of the ring.
So the UWF was another wrestling promotion that came around in the late '80s, early '90s, and the big stars like Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Cactus Jack was there early on, and Herb Abrams, among people in wrestling, is a character among characters. He was pushing himself as like this main focal point of the promotion, just doing mounds and mounds of cocaine. The thing he's probably most famous for now is that he was when he died, he passed away in the mid-90s. He was naked, covered in baby oil, running around his office building, smashing things with a baseball bat, and then his heart just gave out.
Allegedly.
They didn't even touch.
Yeah, they said
no,
there's like
that all happened.
Well, they said there's 4 different stories
They-
on like how he died
Yeah.
and like did he die in the back of the cop
Yeah.
car? There's hookers there. He's chasing
There's
them.
one report saying he died from a heart attack in the cop car. Then there's reports saying that he died
Yeah.
at the police station. Then there's reports saying that the police sodomized him with the baseball bat.
Which is like what? Or the
Yeah,
nightstick?
so there's so many different.
And then the one guy said he thinks he's still alive.
yeah, then
Faked
there was
his
a
own
little.
death.
Then there's some people who think he's still alive. So it's a lot of weird things with that story.
But they didn't even get into some of the stuff that I thought they were getting into. Like one of the enhancement talents they had there, one of the guys who just put other guys over was Davey the Observer Meltzer. That was one of his underneath guys because he hated Dave Meltzer. And there's this urban legend, so this may not be true, but one of the guys they talked to in that show was he wrestled under the name Stevie Ray, but not Booker T's brother Stevie Ray. This is
a white guy.
a white guy.
Mhm.
And this Stevie Ray, there's a rumor, and there's a match. You can look it up. It'll say Dr. Death shoots on Stevie Ray, and it looks like they're cooperating to a certain extent. I mean, obviously, I'm not Andy or Matt, and they would know a lot better than I would. But there's some stuff that looks like it hurt in there. And the old legend, the old wives' tale, is that Herb Abrams caught Stevie Ray messing around with his woman, and then he sent Dr. Death after him.
That's the last guy you want after.
Oh my
I mean, if
God.
you're going to send somebody to shoot after him, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Him or Bob Orton.
So
And
I-
then another thing that wound up happening is, he somehow got Dr. Death on the Tonight Show before one of their pay-per-views. It was the Beach Brawl. It was their first one before the Blackjack
They couldn't
Brawl.
get the footage of that. They said they really tried, but NBC wouldn't give it to him. Wouldn't
really?
find it. Yeah, and then the guy, because I listened to the Conrad podcast where he interviews him, talks about it. They said he really tried, and they tried like among wrestling people that had clips, and he couldn't get it. They also said that Jericho admitted that him and Lance Storm bought the Beach Blast pay-per-view, and they said that there was all types of like audio problems. So halfway through, they recorded their own commentary, and like, oh, you have to find that. He said he thinks Lance Storm owns it.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. I actually
They
don't.
used to always
ahead.
on Sports Channel. It's funny. Sports Channel is what UWF was on. Later on, that was what ECW was on in Philly when it first started. Before Sports Channel went away, and they would show Blackjack Brawl. I remember watching that because I remember the Cactus Jimmy Snuka match.
Yeah, they did some really strange things where they got Andre. They actually had Andre booked, and then
Yeah.
like, immediately after Andre showed up on TV, Vince got him back.
Do you guys think that was just a leverage ploy by Andre? Because that was after
Yes.
Mania
100%.
6, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
pretty much done.
Yep.
I was like, well, I'm just going to show up on TV, and Vince is going to give me more money to do next to nothing. That's what I thought that
Absolutely.
was. Really
He-
moved by Andre.
He booked what's his name, Bruiser Brody,
Yeah, even though
and
he's dead for a year.
he's been dead for a year.
was-
Yeah,
Yeah.
They had a title where when you held the belt and it was closed, it said "FU" on it.
Because it says
Nice.
UWF on each side. So when you hold it, he said he would always hold it that way. So it's FU. And then that guy in the podcast said the one thing they get into, they didn't have time, is they had like 8 belts. They even had the midget world title, and they had like the Southern Heritage title, the television title, the world title, the tag team. There was like women's tag.
Yeah.
there was a bunch
That
of
Blackjack.
belts.
That Blackjack Brawl show, it's on YouTube. It's awful. I think it won like worst show of the year. I think like there were 11 matches, like 8 or 9 of them were title matches. Even had like Little Mr. T against, and this is Little Mr. T in like 1993 when Mr. T was doing nothing
Yeah,
against Little Tokyo.
it's like if Howard Stern had a wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and then they pretty much said that every time that wrestlers would go and try to get their checks from him, they would walk in. He's like, "I don't have your money," and then as he was like saying he didn't have their money, he'd be naked, covered in
Some
baby
hookers.
oil, with a face full of coke, and have 3 hookers in
Yeah.
the room, and he'd be each writing them a check for $2,000, but he couldn't pay his talent. Yeah, they said it wasn't an uncommon thing to walk in and just see him naked in boots.
Oh, wow.
Writing checks to cowboy boots all the time.
Yeah.
Writing checks to hookers. Like
Writing
remember
checks to
Jerry
hook-
Springer did that back in the 70s or something.
Yeah, so very interesting. I actually doubled up. I actually watched that episode, and I watched the episode with the hell is his name
Dino
now?
Bravo?
No, is
Dr. D.
it Dr. D?
No, it was a good episode, wasn't it? Isn't he likable?
great.
He's super likable.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna watch. So the only thing I ever seen with Dr. D is obviously the clip,
Yeah.
where he slaps the reporter
Yeah.
for asking him if wrestling is fake, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what a fucking dickhead. But then you actually hear the story behind it, and you're like, no, I
Justifiable.
probably would have
Yeah,
slapped
back
him
in
too.
the day, yeah.
Yeah, like, and he's like, look, Vince sent me out there and said be in character, and if he asks you something stupid, stay in character. And he goes, in my character, to my world, that's a dumb question.
Yeah.
And if you say something stupid to your parents, you get slapped in the fucking mouth for it. And he goes,
Absolutely.
that's what I did.
Anyways, like my dad told me, if you slap a man, he gets back up, you slap him back down.
Yeah, and he said he got back up, so I had to make sure I put him down again. And then he's like,
man.
you could clearly see from the tape, I hit him in the cheek, I hit him in the ear. He's just trying to get money. Like it was. You think the whole time I was like, oh, it's gonna be another New Jack, or I'm gonna hate this guy.
Yeah.
And then the whole time I'm watching, I'm like,
He's
awesome.
I wish they would have signed him.
yeah, I wish he would have done more.
Yeah,
and then
he was defending the business.
yeah, and
He was
everything he
defending the
did
business.
to defend the business, they fired him for.
Yeah, they
but then
blackballed him
a
for
year
it.
later,
Yeah, Vince does it.
they went out and did this. They did it the same thing, and they went for that sports entertainment moniker.
Yeah. Stossel came off as a
Did you
little
guys
asshole.
ever see the interview where Vader and Undertaker are doing like early morning
Oh yeah.
network TV?
Oh, the Kuwait thing, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Vader freaks out, and Taker just trying to sit there and looking normal as possible. It's so funny. He's like, oh,
Taker looks like a mob boss in that thing. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna let this happen.
Yeah.
yeah, Taker's
is
so
great in that
calm.
thing.
Yeah, he's so calm, and Vader's fucking flipping out on the interview. I was
Yeah,
like,
his
oh, shit.
Undertaker's like, yeah, we're in Kuwait here. Let's not
Yeah.
fuck around. They'll kill
Yeah,
us.
let's not go to jail or something. Yeah.
Now here's a quick
worse,
here's a
things to
segue
get.
into that. So we're talking about how WWE did the whole thing where they filed for its sports entertainment so they don't have to get sanctioned the same way. And there was a question on our Facebook page when we posted this next topic of how it's interesting to them how they can get in trouble for doing blood because they're not sanctioned the same way, which isn't necessarily true. And I know that some of you guys can dive deeper into this and give a little more elaboration, because recently AEW was just fined pretty hefty for blood on TV for the was
That was a pay-per-view.
the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was the
It was for
Moxley.
Kenny Omega, John Moxley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that fine just came through, and I guess some people were questioning how are they getting fined if they're under a different athletic commission, but not every state. I know New York is really strict with blood. Is it Pennsylvania
Yeah,
as well?
Pennsylvania, you're not supposed to have any.
Yeah, and then
I guess Maryland is the same
in
too.
Maryland. So
Maryland's the worst. Maryland's the strictest in the
Yeah.
country.
So even though they're not under the same guidelines, they do have to have. There is rules to be to host the wrestling show. You're still involved with the Athletic State Commission, correct?
Oh yeah. In some states, not
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
like
not all
Pennsylvania, you are.
Yes, and you
New
have to
Jersey
have a
is
doc.
not.
You have to have a
New Jersey has
license,
not been commissioned.
and a doctor on scene.
Yes.
Yeah. So there, even
And in-
though I'm sorry, go ahead.
And in Pennsylvania, I'm sure Andy and Matt could tell you more about this. The promoter has to have a $10,000 bond. It's like a surety bond just to make sure the show goes on, and it's kind of held in escrow to make sure that if the show gets canceled, people get their money back and everything. Thank you, Joel Goodhart, for that.
Yeah.
Well, like they did have a doctor on set. They had Britt Baker.
There you go.
yeah,
So, like, what rule did they break?
yeah, nailed it. Yeah, so that's a little
I
thing.
mean, yeah, if they break your teeth, I guess you can help out.
Dr. Luther was backstage too, being a nobody.
WWF has John Cena, the Doctor of Thugging Up.
There you go.
That's very,
And
very
in
true.
the 80s, they had the Doctor of Style Slick. So.
Yeah.
They also had Isaac Yankem. Could be also a doctor.
And the Doctor of Desire, Tom Pritchard.
You can go on and on.
And the best doctor of all time, Dr. Death Steve Williams, in case anyone dies.
Yeah.
Well,
or,
until he
or,
did.
or if you need someone dead.
Exactly.
So, new show coming.
Dr. D, if you need a reporter slap.
Yeah, Dr. D, if you need to take care of that,
Real quick
that
before-
fake news.
Real quick before you
Yeah.
you move on, Tony. I just want to explain the reference I just made there with Joel Goodhart. He was a promoter for Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, which was the forerunner of ECW. Todd Gordon, the guy that started ECW, was actually a silent partner in it, and was a really big indie company in Philadelphia in the late 80s and early 90s. And what happened was he had a radio show. He actually bought time on a radio station in Philly, WIP, and he had a wrestling radio show on like Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings for like a half hour, an hour, and he had his own promotion. And they were going to have this big show, and the big thing with it was that they were going to have the Battle of the Nature Boys. It was going to be Buddy Rogers, who was like 70, 71 years old, against Buddy Landell. And they had this big show planned, and then one day he just comes on the radio like a week or two before the show and says, "Nope, it's canceled. We're done. I'm out of money." And that was the last anybody had heard of him in wrestling for about 20 years. And because of that, that is why promoters now have to have a $10,000 bond to run a show in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them get around that because
Yeah.
they just don't have the money. But,
And if you look at your old ECW, there is a enhancement guy on there, Joel Hartgood. His
Oh,
name.
God.
came from Joel Goodhart, and then CZW did something similar, if you remember, when they had when Rob Feinstein was still involved in Ring of Honor, they had Rick Feinberg as a wrestler.
Yeah. I think that goes into like your license to run the show that you have the 10,000. Yeah. That. But it's good for all year. Like you don't have to do it for every single show.
Yeah.
You do it once a year.
Yeah. Yeah, like we brought up Rock and Rebel earlier. He used to be the license holder for a lot of shows. Mm-hmm. Like he had a deal where like if you booked him and you booked like some other guy to wrestle him, usually Greg Matthews from Tough Enough, he would be the promoter of record on your show.
Oh, okay. Well, back when I first started for Ring of Honor, they were using Feinstein's license, and then obviously all that stuff went down. So obviously he got fired, and I think only 2 or 3 people at the time had a license in Pennsylvania. Because I mean, and Andy can tell you, it was really hard, 10, 12 years ago to get licensed in Pennsylvania. So they had to use Rebel's license whenever they did Philly. And the smartest of the smarks are in Philadelphia, and everybody knew why Rebel was there.
Yeah,
why Rebel was on the show, and that was part of the deal. I think they paid Rebel like $100 more to let him know, like, okay, we're using your license, we're going to book you and your boys because that's part of the deal. We'll give you X amount more money, just to let you know this is not going to show up on the DVD. So they would go, and I used to wrestle for Rebel's Wrestling Federation, so me and Rebel always got along real well. So I remember he was telling me the one time, he's like, wait do you see what we do to these smarks. So his finisher was the Rebelizer, the leg drop. So they're doing their match. It's only like 2-3 minutes of the tag match. Everybody's booing because, again, everybody knows why Rebel's there. And he goes to do the leg drop, and he goes, yo, brother, you're lined up the wrong way. So the guy got up, took a bump in the middle of the ring, spun the other way, and he goes, hey, boss, is that right? And he goes, perfect, and dropped the leg. And I was just like, I remember I was behind Gabe Sapolsky, who was the booker at the time, and he was just like, what the F is he doing? And I was like, I said, that's such a dick move, but like, that's the perfect way to get over with this crowd. I mean, he only had like 2 minutes for a tag match. Yeah. I'll never forget that. I was just like, wow.
Sound like
Here's an amazing match. Here's an amazing match. In 2001, I think it was, I saw Rebel wrestle Chubby Dudley.
Oh, wow. Oh, my Jesus. Yeah. Kind of like how you were talking about that leg drop. It's kind of like the birth of the People's Elbow. That started off as a joke backstage, like, you're never going to get that over. And he's like, watch me.
Yeah.
Like, and then it became like a thing, like, who can sell the stunner the best.
And they sold elbow pads and everything.
Yeah.
The most electrifying move in all of sports entertainment.
It's such a funny thing. Now, new show coming out on AE, right? Am I saying that right? AE? A&E, not AEW. I don't know much about it, so whoever knows the information on this, I think Tyler.
I have it.
I
have it right in front of me if you want me to read it.
Yeah,
I have it from the page. And this is going to be called The Quest for WWE or Lost WWE Treasures. And it's going to be hosted by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And from the press release, A&E Network has greenlit the new series The Quest for Lost WWE Treasures in partnership with WWE Studios, which takes viewers on the ultimate hunt to find some of WWE's most iconic lost memorabilia. And they're also going to do things inside the WWE Archive, which is this huge warehouse where they have like basically everything they've ever done. And it's there used to be a show on, I don't know if it was A&E or the History Channel, was one of those. It was called Toy Hunter. And there was this guy who would go to these old toy collectors and just try to track down these old vintage toys. It sounds like it's going to be that, but with wrestling memorabilia.
They had a really good toy show on the network and on YouTube. But yeah, they fired the 2 guys who ran it.
That wasn't on the network, though, was it?
Was it? I don't even know. I think they showed it sometimes on there, but for the most part, it was a YouTube channel. But they had 2 guys who were really big toy collectors of WWE and wrestling merchandise, and then they fired them, so they don't have a toy collector show anymore.
They had that one week where they did a bunch of different shows, and that might have been one of them, because I know they did one where Xavier Woods was going around all these arcades in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So it might have been part of that week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of like toys and stuff, did anybody? This is kind of an odd thing, but anybody see Zack Ryder's doing a bunch of media now? He did like West Open Radio, and he did it like Chris Van Vliet's podcast.
Yeah, he did.
I did see Van Vliet. Yeah,
it was really interesting. Like he's so positive about everything, man. Like he's so happy that WWE took it out of his hands and just released him because he didn't know what to do.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't happy.
Yeah,
but
I did see that.
He was so loyal to WWE, he didn't want to leave. So he was like, when they fired me, I was so like happy. I had a big smile on my face, and I was like, thank God they made the decision for me.
Yeah, because his contract was going to be up in August, and he didn't know what to do. And now he's going to be done in August anyway, and so they just made the decision for him essentially.
And he said that he actually blames himself for the reason why he didn't get his push He said because he didn't really market himself.
Which is wild, because if I was him, I would have just been snapping out about backstage
he
politics.
got over without them wanting him to get over. Not you can't do that in WWE. They hate that.
And he says he never went up to them and said, "Look, I'm leading in merch sales." He said he never said that to anyone.
Like, he never took the bull by the horns. So he blames himself for not doing that.
Very respectable.
Yeah,
I can see that. Man.
He'll be in
YouTube
AEW.
Show, if it wasn't for his YouTube show, there might not even be a Being the Elite. Like, he was the first wrestler to have a hit YouTube show that was funny, that like broke all the rules and talked about kayfabe shit. Like, I'm trying to get over when he's trying to climb over a fence and shit.
Like, there's a lot of
that was all before Being the Elite, which is wild.
Like I saw a take the other day that said, without Zack Ryder, there's no Daniel Bryan's Yes movement. And it's a very bold take, but there could be some truth to it, because he got himself over via the internet.
Yeah.
And then found his way to a U.S. title shot.
I think Daniel Bryan is so good he would have gotten over no matter what. He's just
Daniel Bryan would have.
There's a certain level of talent you can't.
He also did get fired after his first appearance on live TV.
Who's that?
Daniel Bryan.
That's why we have
He
them all.
choked out
Justin Gabriel with a tie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Justin Roberts. Yeah.
Oh, Justin
Not
Gabriel.
just Justin Gabriel.
He was a part of
him
it.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he became even bigger on the
Black.
indies and overseas as well for that 6 weeks he was gone.
Yeah.
We got to get you a little
My
closer to
favorite-
your mic than Matt.
My favorite Indies Daniel Bryan is when he went to England. Bryan Danielson was when he went to England for a while and he came back bald with a giant beard. That was great.
They come out the Darth Vader theme in the cloak.
I have a Daniel Bryan shirt on the way in the mail as well too. I still
have my ROH one.
I don't have any Daniel Bryan shirts, so I have my own. I was torn between the Yes with the trees, and I was like, are the planet's champ?
Yeah.
I think I got the one where it just said the Yes is back.
Oh, okay.
I thought
I used to have the No shirt.
I have the Yes and the No, and I have the Team Hell No with what look like teddy bears.
You know what's
and then I have
crazy?
his ROH shirt.
I like I said, I started watching as he was leaving. Right?
Yeah.
And then one of the main reasons why I was like, you know what, I'm going to get back into wrestling was the Connor's Cure video.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that Connor's Cure video and I was like, dude, everything about that is the reason why I was a wrestling fan as a kid, and I got away from it. And I was like, if this is what they're about again, I'm in.
Oh, they're about it because they'll show that video 5,000 times.
But how they do really, like, they got away from the Attitude Era, and they are about, marketing to kids and adults that, and doing stuff like Make-A-Wish stuff. Like, I do commend that, and I think that's good. And I was like, and just for Daniel Bryan to be like a part of that kid's like life, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, man, he's a good dude.
Absolutely.
And then he was gone, and I was like, well, that sucks. And then I just seen how much the fans missed him and loved him, even though he wasn't there.
And then they tried doing the Yes gimmick with different people, like Big Show.
Yeah,
it just didn't work.
It worked for the Miz though.
No. I mean, right after he was fired, when Big Show was doing the crying every other week.
Yeah.
That was a little bit later, Austin. That was after Randy Orton did the Money in the Bank thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they basically tried to do like Bryan and Orton a little bit, and then they tried to essentially transfer all that momentum Daniel Bryan had to the Big Show by having Daniel Bryan endorse him.
What a pick,
Yeah, and then when he returned on Raw, I just remember getting I was emotional. I was like, good for him, man. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know, I was excited to see him again. And then I remember his first couple matches when he would take those big bumps. He still does it. I'm like, oh my God, stop doing that.
Hey, he's all right.
His match with Brock, and I still really like that match because there's a clip where you can hear Brock asking, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
And it was a really good match. He was taking some sick bumps, but it was all done
He's
safely.
a fucking psychopath. He might listen, Jericho is obviously going to be probably at the end of the day my number one of all time. But Daniel Bryan is sneaking into my top 3 and 4. He's so good. He's so fucking good.
Yeah. I always tell people his Ring of Honor stuff is 10 times better than his best stuff in WWE.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at that. I got to look it up, man.
Go back and watch. I mean, you can go on YouTube and find it.
Yeah.
Try to find any of his stuff with Nigel McGuinness.
I was just about to say
the best feud he's ever had.
Nigel McGuinness, the commentary guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Nigel was excellent.
Yeah,
He
Nigel's
was-
one of the best wrestlers ever, indie-wise. I mean,
He was
ever,
in Impact, but he was
absolutely.
beat up at that time, so he wasn't good.
Was Cody Graves
Wolf.
good in the ring?
No, not really.
He was okay.
He was
He was
all right.
okay.
He was
promo.
okay. I like
Rip
a lot
off
of his
CM Punk.
stuff. In Pittsburgh, Corey Graves was a big-time heel.
Sterling,
We used to call him poor man CM Punk.
Sterling
Well,
James Keenan.
wasn't that kind of Seth Rollins' MO too? Every time CM Punk would be in a federation then leave, Rollins kind of filled the shoes.
Not really, because he didn't come in the ROH till way after.
It took him a while to get to that level in ROH because Punk was around, and then a lot of other people were taking their spots before Rollins finally got his.
Okay. Well, speaking of, that was a good segue, Tyler. That helped me out a lot. So speaking of Ryder, or whatever his new name is now, I still have a hard time when people leave WWE and then go somewhere else. I still call them their WWE
It depends
gimmicks.
what name I know them, what I found them out first as. Like,
Yeah.
he thought it was going to be Bryan Danielson to me, 'cause that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing as.
So-
yeah, Ryder's gonna go by his name. He's just gonna go by Macadome.
Yeah.
I have breaking news. This is for you, Andy Header. Well, for everybody, but they're postponing Wrestle Dynasty, the New Japan Madison Square Garden show.
Yeah, they
next
said
year.
till next year.
Ooh.
Yeah, August.
It's like, oh,
Um,
what can you do?
The Revival was on Talk is Jericho.
The Revolt.
And they're now the Revolt. And they talked a little bit about their release. So if some of the key points there, I'm going to pull up a little article to try to help us out a little bit. But if you have anything on deck over there, you can bring that up.
It was the other day.
That I do not have.
It was a good episode.
I just I didn't get to see
I'll
that.
pull up something that I have real quick. I have a quote from him. It says, "This is nothing against Braun, but he steamrolled the entire tag team division. Then him and a 10-year-old won the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Then there's no tag teams feature at SummerSlam ? At last minute, they had the women's tag team titles, which I'm all for. But come on, it's so last minute, people don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what their whole big gripe is. Not even how they were treated. They said they were treated great. Like, they won the tag titles in 3 different occasions. They won the NXT titles twice.
Had a match of the
So
year.
it was never about
Yeah.
how they were treated, which is what people complain online, being like, how much more do these guys want to win that they're still complaining? But it's just the fact that the tag team division in general sucks so bad in WWE. It's like, we got to leave.
Like, there's been, obviously we've had, all sorts of male main events. We finally had, women main eventing WrestleMania. There really hasn't been a tag team main event
No,
since I've been alive.
I can't
I mean, it's
pull
been
one out.
let me
in my
hear
head.
what
like
it-
Triple
yeah.
H. Yeah, it's been like Triple H and Jericho and Big Show at TLC. Like, there's been a couple, but nothing. It's always about super stars forming together.
Yeah, never
Yeah,
belt.
it's never
Batista
a
and Taker
established.
versus Cena and Shawn Michaels, but it's never established teams. Yeah,
That's what they said. They said that you'd be better off if you're two random guys in tag team WWE
Yeah.
than being
So,
a tag
so
team.
I have some stuff here. So it says that FTR actually stands for the record, not F the Revival. And it's not Full Tilt Republicans. It's not
Full Tilt Republicans.
It's not Fancy Town Rascals. It's not.
I like that.
It's not Phineas Terrace or
Okay,
Rooter Bob.
this was
Rooter Boob.
this was not on Talk Jericho.
Wasn't it?
No.
Oh, it says that this is all takeaways from it. That's what they. So this is what they actually said supposedly.
Unless I totally missed that. part.
They said that they lied about asking for the release. So when everyone came up to him in the media and said, "Hey, we heard you asked for your release,"
Yeah, they said no.
They said no, we didn't do that because they said they. So one of the things that I accused them for, and I think we might have even said in the podcast before, like when news broke, we're like, it'd be funny if it's a Revival because they obviously want out of their contracts, and they openly were like they came off, I guess, in the media and to fans as like they didn't give a shit. And they're doing whatever they can. Just fire us. We don't care. But according to the Talk is Jericho thing, they came off super respectful. Like they don't hate WWE. They don't hate everybody. They said it wasn't for them. Like their tag team division wasn't being taken seriously, and they just needed a change of environment.
Even if you go back and look at what they were doing during and after they asked for the release, like the segment with the Usos and the itchy crotch
Yeah, the
thing,
Uzi hot.
they were selling it though.
Yeah.
They were into it.
They said 100%. Like said those pictures that were leaked
Yeah.
online of those stupid outfits. They said they were 100% true. And they would have 100% did it because they were granted the release, and they would have done anything.
Well,
they
no,
would
that
have-
was before they said we will do this and we'll do it as best we can.
They were-
but we're done
But we won't
when the
resign.
contract's up.
Yeah, they said they'll
Yeah.
do whatever you ask them to, but they're not resigning, and they will play ball.
It's
So
like
they-
the Moxley thing.
and
all
they took
over
them off
again.
the road the next week.
Yes. Yeah, they kind of what Tyler said. They were pissed about the way that the tag teams were going, which I completely understand. That's justifiable, but they said another thing I read that I heard about too is that at first they were really pissed off about the F the Revival and fuck the Revival because it wasn't like something that the Bucks and Cody and any of them reached out and said, "Hey, we're going to do this." It just happened, and they're like, "Well, do they really not like us?"
Yeah.
Like at first second they were like, well, is this like a real, is this a legit thing? Or are they just fucking with us? And then I guess they said they have a list of tag teams they definitely want to interact with.
They said the Briscoes,
Yep.
Girls of Destiny.
And then someone said, well, man, I'd
The
love
North.
to. What do you think would happen if you were in the same room with the Bucks, like with this whole F the Revival thing? He goes, I don't know, but we're willing to find out. So they are teasing it.
Yeah, they said they never talked to the Bucks. Even now, I'm like, okay.
They said
gotta work a little bit.
They said they were offered a lot of money to stay
above $750.
Yeah,
Both. So that's crazy.
But it's not about money to them. They just want tag team in a main event spot.
Yeah,
That's it.
one of them said, because I can't tell which one's which, he said he talked to his grandmother, and his grandmother said, well, that's a lot of money to walk away from. But she said, how much money do you
Yeah,
really
that was
need?
Scott Dawson. Scott Dawson's
Yeah.
Graham told
And
him,
he's like,
yeah, listen, you don't need that much money.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and he
one of
said,
them,
wow, that's why I knew I was leaving.
yeah, one of them said, well, the one that said about his grandmother, he has a wife and kids and a
Yeah.
family, and the other one just kind of has a dog, and he's just
Yeah, he don't care.
he's
He said, I'll
content.
do what you got to do, brother.
Yeah, so he was like, hey, and that's a cool thing too, is they're really, really into their tag team. Like, they know their role as a tag team, they know their role as a heel, they know how they have to put guys over. Like, they can do flashy ass shit. They said they just choose not to, because their heel role as a tag team is not to outshine the other guy. Like,
Right.
they have the old school thing. They got a blessing from the Hitman when they said when they said they
texted.
released it. He sent the text out saying, you know,
to one of them.
yeah, saying you're doing the right thing. One of the biggest proponents for them, and one of the reasons why they stuck around as long as they did and stuck to their guns when it came to their name and their style and not splitting up as a tag team, was Dusty. Dusty said they wanted them to succeed, to stick it to management. I know they wanted to change their name, they wanted to change a lot of things, but Dusty was pretty much telling them to no, you stick to your guns and you do what you got to do, because I guess being Southerners or from down North Carolina, and
when one of them talks, he sounds exactly like Matt and Jeff Hardy when
Yeah.
he talks. The other one, not so much. So it's that accent.
that was another thing. Vince was surprised how articulate they were,
Yeah.
which is fucking crazy. Like,
That just shows to show you how much Vince doesn't know about people
Yeah.
that work for him.
How disconnected he is.
Yeah.
the Young Bucks,
well.
the Young Bucks are at the top of their list of teams they want to interact with.
Obviously.
They want to wrestle in Impact. They want to wrestle the North because they remind them of a lot like real life Steiners. Meets American Alpha. They want the Briscoes. They would like to wrestle Guerrillas of Destiny and Finjuice in New Japan.
Ooh.
But on the top of their list is the Young Bucks, who they have engaging in a Twitter feud for years. And once again, they were felt kind of blindsided by the F the Revival thing.
And they talked about.
And you know what's funny about the FTR thing? That was all Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was the first person that yelled "fuck the Revival" on being the Elite, and it just became a funny bit.
Yeah. They said Jericho was their inspiration for leaving. And they actually had
that's intriguing.
Yeah, because they said, like, they looked up to them, and they're like, kind of how Christian went out and made a name for themselves without being in the company, and then Jericho did it. And then they also talked about a little bit of heat they had with Jericho, where they came in and started using the code breaker in their finisher, and I guess Jericho said something on Twitter like, "Oh, nice of you to use my finisher,"
Right.
And they responded as, "Well, cool, we'll ask this guy," which is, I guess, Mount Fuji, because that's where Jericho got it from. And then Jericho was kind of like, "Oh, good for you guys."
Yeah, Kevin Owens got the number of one of them to Jericho, and then they said
and it was squashed. They did talk a little bit about that. Let's see if there's
but they can't call it the Shadow Machine. That's copyright. They said.
Yeah.
They said so. Maybe it'd be the Shadow Machine.
yeah.
And Jericho said something. He's like he reversed it. What he's got the Matter Machine.
So it was a really good interview from what everything I read.
It was good.
I didn't watch it.
It's not real long.
I just watched the video on it, and then I read the article on it. But definitely got to check it out. What are your thoughts? Where do you think the Revival end up? Are we all pretty much on the agreement that it's probably going to be AEW?
Mm-hmm.
I think if anything,
It's definitely going to be AEW.
other than AEW, they might do like one appearance in an NWA.
Yeah, but I think because NWA ain't going right now, they're probably going to show up at the pay per view, which is May 20th. So.
yeah.
Do you think they'll get a Jon Moxley deal?
They might.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to basically be able to write their own checks, so why wouldn't they? This way they'll work Wednesdays, they'll work the pay-per-view, and then this way they can work weekends wherever they want. Yeah, I think they'll get the open contract.
Yeah. I think all the big people will do that, especially because AEW wants to work New Japan. New Japan's still like, I don't know. So that
I have a very hot take on AEW I want to bring up to everybody before we get into the week. I think this is.
Oh, so do I. I have a really hot take.
Yeah, I kind of bit from you a little bit, but I kind of add a little bit to it as well. So we'll definitely get into that before we get into the shows. Raw was at their all-time low this week when it came to viewership. It beat last week, which was the all-time low. It's even worse now. But to be fair, one of the things I did read is that all TV ratings are super, super low
which
right now.
is weird because you think more people are home. home, but it's the empty arena shows. Really, people
Yeah.
get tired of it. I mean, there's nothing they could do. So I think they should just play replays of old matches.
I've actually watched
And
more
DVDs.
consistently Raw since this has happened than I probably have in like a year or two.
Wow.
Like I'm watching it so consistently, start to finish, which usually I'll like go back and have to watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm actually watching it when it happens, start to finish.
I don't
You're a
mind it.
trooper.
It's like a bonding thing with my dad. and
Yeah.
my
I
mom.
can't.
It's just a good time.
It's
Yeah.
just so sterile and clean. It feels like there's no life to it, and it's just so silent. I zone right out.
Yeah.
It's like watching practice matches, but you can't say anything.
Right, and obviously you have a different perspective on it, but for me as a non-attached viewer, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't mind it either. I think actually Raw and SmackDown were not horrible this week, to me anyway. But yeah, another rumor on the internet is Renee Young kind of fed the internet a little bit and said, I think the hacker's CM Punk. And then a tweet went out and it said, it was like upside down and backwards, and it was do I have your attention now?
Yeah.
So everyone's like, CM Punk confirmed as the new hacker.
And CM Punk immediately is like, you gotta be kidding. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want this attention.
He didn't come back for Royal Rumble. He's not come back for this. Come on now.
What do you mean? That's the
Yeah,
best way
wait
to
till the
drop them.
big surprise is that that's Ali and everybody's bummed out of their mind. That's why they shouldn't do shit like this.
Yeah.
I'm still okay with it if it's Ollie, but right, people are gonna be upset.
Yeah.
I thought you said Kali. I was like,
Oh.
what?
Oh,
Kali? Am I
see,
wrong?
now I'm interested.
Ugh.
Kali as a hacker would be an
Do I-
interesting way to
Do
go.
I have your attention now?
That would be his best character work ever.
You wouldn't understand what
His
he's
best
saying.
character work ever is in Get Smart, and the Get Smart horrible
Okay,
movie,
yeah.
but his part is great.
What about
And the,
in
Steve Carell
Longest
remake.
Yard.
Yeah, The Longest Yard. I was about to say that when he's
that-
playing table tennis against himself.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything in that movie.
And he's headbutting the wall, and he's like, "Cool, get you some Advil. I'm out of here." Yeah.
Kali, one of the top 5 worst of all time.
He eliminated himself in a Royal Rumble, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, he can barely stand. Barely walk.
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Every video I've seen of him, like overseas, like in India, he's really, really good to his fans.
Yeah.
Him and Big Show actually had a shoot fight backstage, which is hilarious. Chris Jericho said it was the worst fight he ever seen.
And Jericho tried to fight Brock Lesnar
And
Yeah, so it tells you everything you need to know.
and Bill Goldberg.
For my-
He did fight Goldberg.
Yeah.
For my my quote unquote shoot job, I deal with a lot of people from India, and they are the nicest people. But anybody that's a wrestling fan, they tell me that Kali is like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was to us in the '90s.
Wow.
Kali is looked on like on a god level over in India.
I wonder what gender
I
looks
was
like.
just about to say
They
that.
probably love him.
I know I
Yeah,
do.
they said Ginger would be like if I'm going to put in sports terms, he would probably be like a Charles Barkley. Like, I mean, he's like a step or two below Kali.
Is he like
Except
the new?
Jinder actually won
Is
a
he like
championship.
LeBron now? Is he like the new generation?
I guess so.
Kali won a world title.
It's a
Yeah.
shit, man.
They did.
And
Yeah,
hot
Barkley
take,
They
didn't.
both did.
The joke was it was a Barkley.
Oh, okay, right.
Jinder needs another title reign.
Oh God. Imagine.
Jinder and Kofi both need another title reign to legitimately
Well, Kofi
Jinder
use
needs
both
a
of
title
theirs.
reign, but now I don't think a WWE title reign.
We're
I
never
would
gonna
love to
have
see him
another
be U.S. champion.
Which is unfortunate because it makes his one title reign illegitimate to me. If you make
he had a
if
decent run.
he did, but he only won it once because of a weird, like messed up situation.
Because of Ali.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel legit. If you give him another
You guys-
one, then he feels like an actual champion. That's my opinion
See,
on it.
What Kofi, to me, it's the fact that he won it, the way that he won it, where he won it. It was probably the best WrestleMania match in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
give me a Mania match that was better than him and Daniel Bryan since probably Mania 30 was the best.
did you
two
see
matches were
Charlotte
Daniel Bryan.
Oscar.
Did you see Braun Strowman and Goldberg this year? Come on, let's get real here.
Honestly,
Excuse me.
I forgot that was a match.
That Kofi Daniel Bryan match was just such a heartwarmer because it was like, oh yeah, Daniel Bryan is just so much better at this than pretty much anybody else. And
Yeah.
it was so great to
Yeah.
see.
Here's the thing: if Kofi's title run is not legitimate, how far down the list is Kevin Owens' title run? The belt was given to him by Triple H,
if-
and then he got squashed by Bill Goldberg.
I don't
You
disagree.
can't really go by off if a person only won the belt once, because if that's what we're saying is illegitimate, then Eddie Guerrero was illegitimate. Like that takes off so many people from the list.
No, but I'm saying with Kofi specifically,
Yes,
it was
yes,
just kind
Savage.
of a random spot, and
Savage had
like,
two.
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel as cool.
It's perspective. It's
Yeah.
perspective.
It's like a good moment in wrestling history, but I don't think it makes him look like the strongest of champions.
Well, no.
No, because everybody knew it was like, okay, when this goes away, it's going right back down to the tags.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
pretty much. So yeah, we kind of talked about New Japan doing empty shows. That kind of came up, so I scratched that off the list. This is not breaking news. This is not anything big. This is just kind of me digging. I was trying to follow some accounts for our Tornado Pet Tag page on Instagram, and I thought it was very interesting that NWA Power follows Heath Slater and Gerald Briscoe now that they have been both released. Maybe Heath Slater going to NWA Power. I don't know.
I said,
It would make sense.
They don't follow the current TV champion Zicky Dice and the current national champion Aaron Stevens. So I don't know about that right now.
He's got kids, Andy. He's got kids.
I don't think that's
An
legit.
NWA crowd would eat that up.
Yeah.
Just anything he would do.
Speaking
'cause
of
he's a
Aaron
character.
Stevens, I heard somebody saying that maybe they'll sign Curtis Axel so they can reunite Macho Man Down
Oh,
and
God.
Axelmania.
Oh.
I can see him going to NWA. Both of them all.
Yeah.
Actually.
Heath, I could definitely see. He's got that. He does comedy well. He does over the top well. I think he would fit in pretty well there.
That's the thing I felt bad for Axel when he got released, because everyone was saying was like, well, he was okay, but he wasn't his dad. It's like, who the hell is his dad? Who's that
Right.
good?
His dad's perfect.
Younger Curtis Axel, when he was like Michael McGillicuddy, when he was shredded when he first came into the scene.
Wasn't he a Paul Heyman guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was a payment, I was
Yes,
going to
he
say he was
was.
Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, it didn't,
That's
Great.
It wasn't bad.
didn't really go anywhere, though.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Ryback happened, I think,
Yeah.
or something like that.
All right, so here's my hot take I want to do before we jump into Impact and everything. Now, this, without kind of diving into what happened this week on AEW, I want to bring up AEW as an overall topic. I know Tyler has a lot he wants to get off his chest here. So I know some of your topics do involve what happened this week, but try to leave it as bare minimum as possible when it comes to that, so we don't talk about the same thing twice. But watching AEW and watching it every week. Remember how we talked about when AEW was first a thing, and we said, like, if you're a talent and AEW offered you a contract, obviously it was like, holy fuck, you go to AEW because it's
Especially some people who are not getting offers from anybody else.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a proving ground. It's a time to go there and really do your thing.
Get on TV.
Get on TV, do all this stuff. To me, this is just and this is not me hating on AEW. I think their shows have been fine. I think they're a good time to watch. I look forward to them, but like, it's like, okay, you're one of the entry level guys who sign. You know, you're independent. You're big in the independents, big enough to get a push. And then you turn around, and every single time somebody new comes in, like, you're a Joey Janela, who you're established outside of AEW. You kind of have your own thing going on. You're a Sonny Kiss. You're a
Poor Sonny Kiss does not have one match on TV.
yeah. You know,
Well, AEW don't.
you're all these you're these different stars, and it's just to the point where, like, every week the only people getting pushed are former disgruntled WBE releases,
But not all of them.
and the elite.
Sammy Guevara,
Samurai Guevara is like
Darby Allin.
yeah.
Well, with Sammy Guevara, he's or Guevara,
Yeah.
however you
Yeah.
pronounce his name, he's paired with Jericho,
Yeah. But I mean-
Jack Swagger, and LAX.
That's Jericho helping him out. You know,
Absolutely.
bringing up a guy that was almost a nobody, basically. You know, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that are, but there's a lot of people that, I mean, Nyla, Riho,
Yeah.
you know, all the women, Chris Statlander, Britt Baker. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, say what you will about the women's division, but nobody knew who they were before AEW, really. I mean, some.
I mean, Statlander, no. Baker, yes, because Baker was the division was kind of built around Baker for the most part. Nyla was a big force. Rio was big because she's close with Kenny, but it's just like, if you're offered a contract now, would you still look at AEW the same glamour as you would as an NWA Power, an Impact, or
Well, it
ROH?
depends who would giving you, who's offering you the money and who's offering you the whatever the.
But on the same,
push.
the same,
I think it also depends on, like, you specifically, whether you're a solo
Where-
male talent or a
Yeah.
solo female
if
talent.
they
or tag
offered me a
team.
deal, and they signed me and said, "Hey, we'll use you and stuff," I'm all about it.
yeah.
And then the revival come. I'm not going to be upset that they're using the revival over me because they're a revival.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset they're using Brody Lee over me. I understand.
But the same token is, we criticize WWE for hiring guys and not using
Yeah.
them and kind of burying
Yeah, there's
them.
some people they're not using.
And they have a nice chunk of their roster that's not being used, but they're still bringing in jobbers to get squashed on
well,
TV.
that's. I mean, that was they only had 20% of the roster they said for those shows.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. Here's what I want to get off my chest. AEW is TNA 2005.
I
That's
think
all they are
I think it's WCW all over again.
Nope. I
They
disagree
need
with
to
both.
stop having Tony Khan, who's just a money mark, and Cody and the Bucks book the show because they don't know what they're doing. I mean, they just booked Matt Hardy. He lost his first match. Okay, cool. So then right away the pay-per-view and Brody Lee's going to lose his first big match. Okay, cool. If Lance Archer loses, which he probably won't or probably win, but they do this 50-50 booking bullshit where wins don't really matter. The Elite lost all their important matches when the show first started, so now they're not important. Now they're winning, and people are like, okay, who gives a shit now? It doesn't matter. They totally are going backwards in how to do the show, and now it's becoming a thing of like, if you're a WWE guy, just come on in and we'll have a big spot for you, instead of building all these guys that they have signed already. It just doesn't make sense. You're going to book Brody in a world title opportunity. The guy's been there for 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
I don't think he's losing.
Neither do I necessarily.
Oh, he's losing.
Well, that's even worse.
There's no way.
If they have
not
him
winning
beat
the title.
Moxley, that's even. Dude, I swear to God, if he beats Moxley, that's even worse. That they should just put the title back in the limousine and Jericho lost it and fucking drive it off a cliff.
But here's the thing: if he wasn't getting a title shot, who should get a title shot?
Exactly. Yeah.
I would
MJF.
do Jake Hager. I mean, him and Hager have already been feuding for 4 weeks. Let them have another match. Just because they had one match for a title, they can have another one. Like shit, do it again.
They do that, and then I think MJF is the next feud.
Yeah.
Or just build up someone out of nowhere. Just like do some sort of tournament. Doesn't necessarily have to have a story to it.
Well, they're gonna.
And
they're doing something like that.
Yeah.
We'll get to it then.
Oh yeah, the casino.
The casino
Ladder match.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was there, if I was Joey Janela, I wouldn't be upset. I mean, he had a good match this week, but
he's fantastic.
You
He's
have to-
also said some weird things online.
yeah, and he has a terrible look. He looks terribly trashy indie, but you know.
Well, so does everybody.
Well, here's
a lot of people
Private
look
Party.
trashy.
Here's
indie.
the only reason why.
So does Brody Lee. Brody looks like garbage. I mean, they
It
all
doesn't
look
look
like
good.
trash. They look
Here's
like
the
they
only
all
thing.
come from a
Here's the only
single
reason why I
event
think Brody
convention.
Lee is winning that belt. I think they already kind of established that if you have the champion, you're going to get a little bit of a longer run. I think they need to kind of swerve their fans a little bit and say like anything is possible here. You know what I mean? Like Moxley has one title defense and he or two title defenses and he loses. Like I think it kind of leaves that presumption of that.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah, where you.
I would bet every dollar I own he is not winning that title.
I don't know.
I would also bet every dollar. I would also bet every dollar Andy owns.
Here's another reason why I think Lee wins.
And Tony Khan would take that money right up.
Here's another reason why I think Lee wins the title because I think they know going in, Moxley was a Grand Slam champion in WWE, so him coming in and getting another belt. It helps his career a little bit. It pads his stats. He has a belt under his belt. It makes him a
belt under his
He has another belt under his regime.
Yeah, but that's.
But here's
a different universe.
Here's
Doesn't
a guy.
matter.
It's really not because all they do is latch on to what they did in the past anyway. So it's not a different universe.
Even to that extent, not WWE, but he was United States New Japan champ.
He still is.
Yes.
So I would say, well, let me finish my train of thought here. So how you're saying it's a different universe? It's not to them because they are still stuck on the fact that they got that Daddy didn't treat them right in their last company.
Not really.
I feel
his
like
whole character is developed.
That's Brody Lee's whole gimmick.
Kenny's worse. Well, yeah, but Kenny's worse than he was in Japan.
I agree with that
but
too.
Kenny's booking his own booking right now. So Kenny's doing what he
That's
feels
exactly
comfortable.
my point. The booking is garbage.
So
The
here's
booking is so
why
bad
I
that they
think
have
Lee.
Tony Khan
Here's
doing
why I
it.
think Lee wins the belt. They all liked Lee. They all said he deserved better than what he got.
I agree with that.
They all said he should have been a champion and not just a bullshit intercontinental that got no push. They brought him in.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him the title right away to solidify that this is Vince, you messed up, and we're going to give him a decent title run.
Give him an actual reign.
Because if he comes in and loses immediately after he makes a debut, to John Moxley that doesn't need a title to be over.
But that's your world champion.
But Moxley doesn't need a belt to be over. He
If
can
I
go
come
in and do
and I
any
lose
street
That's
fight.
why they shouldn't put the belt on him. He shouldn't be the champion.
Yeah.
Since Jericho lost that title, that belt has meant
Jericho
nothing.
lost his title because he was going to
Nothing
go
at all.
on tour with his band, and
Yeah.
the tour
But
never
he
happened
wasn't,
because
he
of
said
COVID.
Every Wednesday, he was going to make sure he was available.
Yeah,
he
that-
wasn't going to miss any Wednesdays.
I don't believe
and
that.
I can back up that claim. I have friends of mine that work for AEW, and I've had this conversation with Andy Hedder. I have friends of mine that work for AEW that literally I was at a birthday party, and the guy got the updated list, and they said, look, we have to literally work around Jericho's band schedule so we can make every AEW taping pay-per-view. He's like, he's our cash cow. Yeah, they were. I literally saw Nick Jackson text this guy that works backstage the schedule for X amount of months.
I believe it.
Of where they were going to be and because they were working around Jericho's schedule, so they were going to work around.
Well,
Jericho's
Jericho
schedule.
went to what? Was it the All In, and then left All In still face paint with Pentagon, flew to a show, and then performed on stage with the Pentagon makeup still on. So he's he will do it, but I don't know.
So, for my opinion on this, like the AEW trying to not do what WWE did, this is like a perfect example of that. You want to not do what WWE would do in this situation? Brody Lee has an entire swarm of people. Jon Moxley is by himself, has no help in this. The obvious booking, the thing that makes sense, like outside of like kayfabe or anything, just the numbers advantage, Brody Lee should win. And I think they should play into that.
Yeah.
Well, the obvious thing is a DQ, but you can't do that on a pay-per-view anymore.
Right. And that would piss people off.
And AEW throws DQs out the window when they actually should be DQs.
Yeah.
They're like, no, that's
But
not
again, we can't bring up obvious in professional wrestling, because if it was obvious,
That's true.
we wouldn't have Tony Khan booking the show anyways, because Tony Khan and his father have no idea how to build a football team. I mean, the Jaguars have been a joke for 20 years.
Tony
So
Khan's
then you have
been
this guy who has
feuding with players on Twitter about contract disputes.
exactly could you imagine the owner of a fucking team fighting with players on Twitter? Like that
Right.
seems so wild.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Brody Lee...
And what he does in football is neither here nor there. But as far as the
It shows that he doesn't. If he can't even run a league that his dad's been owning a team for over 21 years now. When they become a team, 1992, 90 something.
he hasn't owned them the whole time. It's been about 10, 15.
That team should
it's
have
like-
won instead of the Eagles.
But I mean, you can't control that.
shit.
You can't.
Him-
You can't
him
book the
sitting
football
down
team to
with
win.
Yeah.
The elite and booking every show is just not the right way to go about it. I just don't think that's going to work long term. I don't think it's working right now, nonetheless long term.
I don't think their shows are
and
horrible.
the thing with they're not. I
No,
don't
shows
like.
aren't horrible. Just the bookings sometimes don't make sense. Like to have a guy have all this
But,
drawing power and to have him lose his first big match is not going to make sense. And if he wins, it doesn't make sense either. So it's like you're in a lose-lose situation.
I disagree. I think it comes down to your storytelling.
I don't know. I think you don't want to have your main star lose. Then you don't want your world champion to lose quite yet. So that's when
Exactly.
that's when you
That's
have
exactly
a
how
third
I
person
feel.
come in
Yep.
and interrupt it. But then that's like, oh, you're
They booked themselves into a corner at this
Yeah,
point.
just like Lance Archer, I wouldn't want him to wrestle Moxley because I wouldn't want him to lose, but I don't want him to win the title just yet. Down the secondary belt, yeah,
That's
okay.
right. Exactly.
See, I just don't. I think Moxley's a
And-
guy who doesn't need a belt to be over, though. He's the only guy. He's one of your main guys.
No, there's
Besides,
a lot of
already
people.
has it,
Jericho
that's the
don't
problem.
need it either. but-
He already has it. You don't need to hot potato the belt. Right now, you're trying to get the belt over.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to do here. And the way you don't get it over is by changing it every pay-per-view.
yeah.
Unless it changes here and
That's
then
not
stops.
going to get it over.
And then, like, Brody Lee is the guy
I-
to actually hold the
love
belt.
I love Brody Lee. I don't know if he's the guy you want as your long-term champion.
That's fair.
Realistically, it wouldn't have been every pay-per-view. It's going to be this time, but because Blood and Bunny never happened.
That was on demand, a TV show, the Blood and Guts.
Yeah, it was
The Blood
going
and
to be
Guts.
TV.
Oh, I thought that was a pay-per-view.
No.
No, it's going to be a Wednesday thing.
No, TV.
It's so confusing when they name a fucking
Yeah, well,
Wednesday show
yeah.
into a pay-per-view name.
Uh-huh. But yeah, no, in general, with like the Brody Lee Moxley feud in general, I
think Lee wins it.
I saw a clip on Twitter today from like a CZW show in 2011, and they were the main event, Moxley and Brody Lee, and the crowd is chanting, "Where's our refund?"
Oh,
And it was the main event, and like the reason they were
That's-
chanting that is because they didn't put on a gory match; they put
Yeah.
on like an actual
I was
match.
just gonna say
yeah.
that those fans wanted you to beat the
They
shit out
want
of Charles
death
Weapon,
by
especially in the
Yes.
main event. And Brody Lee looks at the camera and points to the tape, like the stage, and just like walks away. And then you could hear as the show goes off air, someone yells from production, "Is that it?"
Yeah, so the CCW fans were assholes.
Yeah,
Wow.
precisely.
yeah.
because you
That,
want to watch.
that reminds me of that reminds me, and Matt might remember this, when Masawa came to Ring of Honor for the two shows, and they had the show in New York at the Manhattan Center, and there was this match with the Age of the Fall, which, speaking of Seth Rollins, and the Briscoes, where they did like a 13-second, 30-second DQ or something, and it was in the middle of the show. People were so mad that the next segment was this thing where they were giving an award to Harley Race, and the ROH fans booed the hell out of Harley Race. And I was like, these goddamn fans.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, they really
Fickle.
didn't. They were booed a little bit, and then they realized, okay, let's be a little more respectful of this Harley freaking race.
Yeah.
Plus, we're getting Kenton Masawa.
And then they
for
wound
the,
up,
for the
yeah.
for the Noah Championship, which happened
And then
to
they
be
wound up-
Masawa's last really good match.
and then they wound up doing the Briscoes match again anyway at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole purpose. That was the whole genius.
Oh, yeah.
of it. That was
Yeah,
the
of
whole.
course.
You got to pick them up and down. Yeah.
All right, we are running a bit long here. We just hit the 1 hour mark.
It was a good debate, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, I've seen Moxley with every single belt in WWE, and it did nothing for me then. It's not doing not much for me now with him as a champ. I like it. He's the same
Well, that's why he
person.
shouldn't be Jericho.
Yeah, he's the same person to me with or without a belt, and I feel like he doesn't need the belt to be the person he is. I seen.
But Brian's right. You can't play hopscotch with the title not already.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean,
Not yet.
I agree, but I think if you always have a thing where a guy holds it for a year or a long-term championships, then you're like, it got to the point where Jericho held it so long that we're like, oh, this is about the time he loses it now. I just
for
don't
like 6 months. I thought.
That was like 6 months.
Yeah, but we all
I do
we
not.
all,
I would have kept the belt on Jericho. Just
I
I'm
thought
with
Jericho
Tyler on
was
that.
beating
but we
Moxley.
all
I
as
thought
we
Jericho
all
would
as
keep it.
smart wrestling fans pretty much knew that he was losing it to Moxley. We all called it. We all said it's
I didn't think so.
No, I didn't. I thought Jericho was going to win.
oh.
I thought
See,
they
I
should've
had
kept it
Moxley
on,
winning
and
the
I still
belt.
think they
I don't
should've.
know. When the longer the reign, then you have that. Is this the time he loses it, or does he keep it? Like Okada had it for over a year, and it's like,
Yeah.
is he going to lose this match? Oh, maybe he
Yeah.
won't.
I'm not
And he
saying
kept-
I'm not
keeps
saying
it.
hot potato it, but like if you book yourself into a story where you're like, oh, it's obvious this is the time, that gets boring too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's.
Yeah, no, and I respect that for the shock factor. The shock factor alone.
But you can't do the opposite because then you're Vince Russo,
Yeah,
and you're switching
Yeah, and you
belt
don't
every
book
week.
just
Yeah.
for a shock factor.
And then that makes the
That
title
just-
not
worthless.
shock,
That's
but
also
fair.
but if Lee, to me,
Okay, you're saying this now. Okay, let's say
if Lee wins the title,
let's say Zack Ryder comes in. Would you give Zack Ryder a world title shot and give him the title?
no, but if they do, that's hilarious.
But how much effort have they put into Brody Lee's gimmick?
Yeah, a little bit. But I'm just saying the same thing happens.
I
Zack
hate
Ryder
Brody
comes in,
Lee's
he cuts
gimmick. I
promos.
really hate it.
AKA Vince Jr. That's his whole gimmick.
He's there
Sure,
for
hilarious.
you know.
Great genius.
What if Zack Ryder is
months?
one of the guys in the
Dark Order.
Dark Order?
No, it's that Cody Vance guy that they said it. In,
Yeah.
on the
I don't know. I just think I like how Austin kind of said too, where he has the numbers game, he has the stable.
which makes sense from that perspective.
I just don't see him losing. I don't. I think
Yeah,
he
but
beats
they're already
Moxley.
teasing they're already thinking SCU. They've already planted those seeds that SCU is going to help Moxley. You know, because it's like
Oh, yeah,
common
that's
enemies
right.
Thing.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, so that's at least 4 on 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
8 of
Yeah,
them
then
don't
maybe
count.
you're going to wind up having like Brody Lee and Scorpio Sky do a program since it's going to be giving him a singles push. There's ways you can spin into something worthwhile.
Plus, how many times has Moxley single-handedly taken out the inner circle? And they're way
Yeah,
better.
exactly.
They're way
Great
better
point.
than
That's
the
a-
Dark
that's a good
Order,
point.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that someone came out to beat him up to challenge for the next, like New Japan does it.
Yeah.
So that way you know, oh, here comes the next challenger. Okay, you know, rather
Yeah.
than just, oh, you're going to get a title shot.
Yeah. No, I think they're doing very. I think all shows now are doing better of promoting the next show.
In general,
Oh, I
that
don't think
segment
Raw and
was-
SmackDown are. They don't. What's one match on SmackDown tomorrow?
Well, we'll get to that.
You don't know any, do you?
I
No-
know.
no one
I know,
does.
I know Raw
He's just saying
very
on the top
well.
of his head. You know any at the top of your head that you're excited about?
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
sure
I
as hell
don't. I don't.
But now,
but I
AEW announced their matches.
But I know.
And NXT
I know
announces
what I know what
matches.
I know what the setup is going into the pay per view.
Yeah, but that's you would know that anyway. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying they're not doing a very good job of promoting the next week.
At least for
Raw and
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
I think at least for SmackDown, SmackDown has. I
we,
can't
do,
even.
do we
follow
know
what-
one match on Raw next week?
Not off the top of my head. No,
No, 'cause-
I literally
See what
just
I'm
watched
saying?
AEW and NXT.
That is
the
true.
The big thing I remember they plugged for Raw is Becky Lynch is going to be there.
Yeah,
Randy Orton's going to
which
be there.
I think.
Well, listen.
Oh,
Becky's
yeah, and Edge is
gonna
gonna be
face
there.
off the
So there
Money
we
in the
go.
Bank winner, which blows that out the water.
Let's jump into SmackDown, and we'll get into it. We'll save Impact to see if we unless we run long. Let's jump into SmackDown and let's talk about what happened last Friday.
Hey, Bryan, just kind of building up money in the bank. He said he was hoping to compete with Gulak, but it's not happening because of King Corbin, and that leads us to King Corbin and Daniel Bryan in the opening match, which is won by Daniel Bryan by disqualification. Corbin hit him with a ladder.
Yeah,
And then got mad at the ref
then,
for disqualifying him.
yeah. All right.
I
And
hate that they have Nakamura and Cesaro just teaming up with Corbin now since Sami Zayn's not there. It's like, what
Yeah.
the hell? How does that make any sense?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Poor
Yeah, they
Cesaro.
had Nakamura and Cesaro saved Corbin from the LaBelle lock.
All right.
They're just two guys they just don't know what to do with.
Yeah. I wish either one of them or
Would've
both
got-
of
I
them were
would've-
on Raw.
I wish both of them would have got their release.
I think both those guys, if when their contract comes up, they're going to have to offer them a lot of money for them to stay.
Cesaro's
yeah.
already been here for like 8 or 9 years or something like that. I feel like if he was gonna leave, he would have left.
The only
already.
title he's had is the tag, right?
I think he had no, he had the United
No, he's
States.
been US champion.
He had
Yeah,
US.
But that's what I'm saying. If he
Yeah.
wanted to leave, he would be gone by now.
But I mean,
think.
but there wasn't anyone offering big money.
That's true. That is true.
Like he would do
I
phenomenal
was
in New
so-
Japan.
Yeah, the landscape has
Oh
changed.
my God, yeah.
Yeah, the landscape
And
has
he's
He'll
changed.
be,
great
he'll be
in
amazing in
AEW.
New Japan.
Anywhere.
Yeah, keep anyway.
I was so bummed when he was the U.S. champion that they didn't change it back to the very European championship.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Here's the thing, too, man. I mean, if once this whole thing kind of blows back over and Ring of Honor gets time to show, and maybe Marty shows that he's right in the ship,
And they put a little money behind it.
and you get a guy like let's just put a thing. You get your Zack Ryder, Heath Slaters, your guys who may be mid carders in WWE but can still go. Your Cesaros,
I
your
don't know how they would
Shinsuke's.
work in ROH though.
Yeah, your Cesaro, but you never know if you have the right people booking, the right people behind it.
Yeah, but the ROH is very heavy in-ring product.
Yeah, but they also
Right.
have
ROH is a more
PCO.
risk.
Yeah,
as
but
their
that's true.
champion.
Yeah.
Very heavy in ring. That's all I want to see
Yes.
Cesaro do is a heavy in ring.
Yeah, but not
He's
for
we're
Zack
talking
Ryder.
about Heath
Yeah.
Slater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So Cesaro would do phenomenally. Former
Yeah.
tag champion.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be fun. Interesting
Like
to
somebody-
see the dynamic change.
Yeah, he didn't get cut, but somebody like Chad Gable would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Next part.
So I swear this isn't a rerun, but the next parts of SmackDown were a Braun Strowman Bray Wyatt promo video, followed by a Sheamus squash, followed by a Jeff Hardy video.
Yep.
Next.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
next.
one thing for next SmackDown: Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus.
Oh,
or
there they
there's
announced
going to be a
that.
face-off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that counts.
They haven't
That's
even
something.
they haven't like announced it, but they've just been like pushing towards it, and like both guys have said, "Hey, you're going to be here. I'm going to be here. Let's do
I
it."
think you should always announce at least 3 matches. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, especially for Raw. It's a 3-hour program.
But it's also like a
I'll be
go-home
honest,
show.
I'm reading the recap.
Yeah.
I've watched SmackDown like twice this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very confused with the Sheamus Jeff Hardy thing, but we'll see how it goes.
Sheamus just seems to be there, like he's just floating
Yeah.
around. And...
ripped.
Go ahead, Brian.
So then you had, I know. By the way, Sheamus, he did a long interview with the former Aiden English. I saw this on YouTube, and it doesn't even have a whole lot of subscribers. But Aiden English has a thing where it's like I think it's like wrestling with whiskey. I guess he's
Yes,
a
I
whiskey
follow
aficionado.
that on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's got one, and then
And,
Claudio has a coffee one. Cesaro has a coffee one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is great. 'Cause he's always had a coffee with the Kings of Wrestling. It's amazing. And
There you go. Things
the
of
next-
wrestling back in ROH.
there we go. Revival and Kings of Wrestling.
Yeah.
Now
Oh, what a
we're
match!
watching.
What a match!
Money in the Bank qualifier was next. Carmella qualifies with a win over Mandy Rose once Sonya Deville intervenes.
I thought
Yeah.
she was already in.
No. Daniel Brooke got in.
Oh, I thought they
Yeah.
were. Oh.
Dana Brooke and who else?
Dana Brooke.
Naya.
Lacey.
Asuka.
Lacey Evans.
Lacey
I was
Evans.
talking about SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing 6. It's going to be Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey, Naya, Asuka, and Shayna.
Mela lands a super sweet chin music again.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. But even
Oh, I
before
thought you meant
even
the
before the
match.
interfere happened, it wasn't a terrible match. But then the whole it was weird. But go ahead.
Next match was Forgotten Sons beating the New Day in a non-title match. And Miz and Morrison were on commentary, and they made a lot of Tiger King references.
They did.
I thought their commentary was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, they were fun.
Miz is actually very good when he's off the cuff. He was excellent on Talking Smack with Daniel
Yes.
Bryan. That is when Miz shines. Is
Oh,
when
dude,
he's
when Miz
an
put that
off the
down
cuff heel.
Bryan, that was amazing. I love that so much.
Daniel Bryan didn't expect that either. That was completely a genuine reaction. Like he didn't know how to handle it.
Yep.
He was like, "Wait, what the
Yeah,
fuck?"
He didn't
It's
know how to expect
overwhelming.
it, but he didn't know how to expect it, but he's good enough that he knew how to play into it. So he
Absolutely.
played it
Yeah,
perfectly.
exactly.
How
Yep.
crazy is it that we still haven't gotten that match?
No, we didn't.
No,
They
we
have a
got it,
Mania.
got it.
They had a
Yeah.
mixed gender
SummerSlam
match.
match.
We didn't have them actually square off.
But no,
with
they
each
had
other.
a one-on-one SummerSlam match.
Did they?
Yeah,
That was a mixed tag, wasn't
Yes. And Miz
Oh,
won,
that
yeah.
is that
Oh,
when
yeah, yeah,
Maurice,
then they did the
Maurice
mixed tag,
cheated.
yeah.
When Maurice, like we didn't have like a legit like blow off with them where they actually got to like Maurice helped out.
Well, yeah, Maurice helped Miz win, but it's still a one-on-one match. I mean,
And then didn't they do a match in Australia
Saudi-
for like a title
yes.
shot or something?
Saudi Arabia.
Yes,
we were
yes.
at Comic-Con. We watched it on your computer, Header. Remember, like 4
Oh.
minutes? I'm like, what
Okay,
happened?
yeah.
Okay, wow,
A couple
yeah.
years ago.
Well, yeah, the match was so
But they,
great.
They
We
didn't have a
remembered
big
it.
WrestleMania
Yeah.
blow off like they should have.
And then they,
should have
um,
had like a WrestleMania blow off.
Yeah.
during the Bryan Fiend feud, they kind of were like talking again, kind of feuding again, and Miz was like, "You need to do this not just for me, not for you, but for
Yeah.
everyone." And then they didn't do anything with it.
But then Goldberg saved the day, so it was all right.
I'm still okay with that storyline wise.
Alright,
I think it makes sense.
When Miz
turn
was
yours- I'm gonna turn
Miz
your
was
mic
so
off.
mad at the Fiend for breaking in his family's home, but then he came out to his regular entrance and dances and
Yeah.
dumb bullshit, all
yeah.
that crap.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it became obvious. It became obvious they were doing Shane McMahon. When they did the whole Best of the World thing.
Yeah.
For a while there, it seemed like WrestleMania before the Kofi thing should have been a babyface Miz against a heel Daniel Bryan of all things.
Yeah, I actually thought we were going to get.
That wasn't the plan. It was
I thought we were going to get a Miz title run.
I think from the
he
work
had some
that he had
momentum
been
there for a
putting
while,
on,
and he got Shane McMahon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could have seen that right there at that point, and especially when he was doing the feud with John Cena and Nikki Bella.
Yeah,
I think I would have put the belt on him.
That was hilarious.
he was like one of the most must see things.
Yeah.
As Miz usually is.
Yeah.
But I don't. This tag team ain't working.
Nah.
I ain't liking it.
Him and Morrison are buddies, so they're having fun with it. But man, I'd like to see them both.
But
go
it's not
solo.
like a tag team. It's not like the LOD's getting back together. Like
Yeah.
It's not doing anything positive for either of
no,
them.
it's not helping either of them.
They're just being goofballs.
It's good for like Morrison to get the wheels running again on like WWE programming and like a familiar face for like former fans, but like I hope it ends soon.
yeah. All right, next thing up.
Next thing, the main event of SmackDown was a Money in the Bank qualifier with Otis again beating Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't watch this match. I turned it off. I didn't.
I
care.
hated that Otis one. I thought Dolph should have won.
Well-
Then it would have been 3 heels, 3 faces.
You gotta think it's not a work rate match. It's a goofball match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Otis is going to be
Yeah.
fantastic.
He's gonna be
at it.
eating food and stuff and walking in on people eating food. It's it's all gonna be nonsense.
Yeah.
It might be pretty good.
It's not going to be nonsense, and then you're throwing in Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Rey Mysterio.
And Alistair.
But with the
Oh,
whole
no, it'll be nonsense.
If you
And
look at
Alistair Black, yeah.
if you look at that ladder
Moments of
match,
good
if I
shit.
say who do I want in there, Otis or Dolph Ziggler?
yeah.
I want Dolph Ziggler in there.
Yeah, but it's not. You got to think it's not a regular match.
Yeah.
It's a movie match.
Yeah.
And the girls are fighting at the same time.
I
It's
don't.
gonna be so much.
I
fun.
don't think Dolph should be in this match. Story wise and like career wise, why would you put Dolph Ziggler, who's won it and like kind of had a
'Cause he-
moment, when Otis has literally
'cause
had
someone-
nothing and has momentum?
because someone's getting thrown off the
he's
roof.
hot.
I think it's gonna be Ray.
Two people. They kept teasing that on Raw. So I think a couple people are getting thrown.
Someone is getting thrown off that roof.
Nia, and then she's gonna come back.
Well,
like the
AJ's
Giant.
immortal, so
Yeah,
That's
AJ.
true.
AJ died.
Oh, that would actually be a really cool new gimmick for AJ. He just keeps dying on
He's like,
screen.
he's
now?
like Kenny
Yeah.
from South Park.
and they don't explain it when he comes back. Oh, AJ looks different.
Yeah, I'm a ghost.
He just keeps coming back, and they like put like surgical makeup on him, so he's like a piece of his fucking skin falling off, or he's rotting away.
You can't kill me. I'm phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh my God, they killed
I
AJ.
thought that was such a. We'll get to that though.
Yeah. All right, Raw.
Yeah.
So, real quick, for this coming SmackDown on Friday, we have a 6-man, Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak, and a mystery partner against Corbin.
I do
Cesaro, and
remember.
Nakamura.
I do
Please be
remember
Chad
them
Gable.
showing.
Please be Chad Gable.
They.
Yeah.
I do remember them showing
Chad.
graphics of what matches are going to be, but I just forget. There's so much.
And then you're
going to
have Braun and Bray are going to go face-to-face,
Yeah.
and you're going to
Oh,
have
wow. Whoopty.
Lacey and Tamina against Bailey and Sasha, and we already mentioned it. Jeff Hardy's return, but it doesn't say here Jeff Hardy against Sheamus specifically.
We're gonna get blow off tag team matches where you're gonna get people who are gonna eventually square off at the pay per view and somehow get them to interact before the show.
Good go home show.
Yeah, it's a go home show. What are you going to do?
What's her name? Will get pinned there. Tamina, since she's not on the.
She's gonna win,
Yeah, no, she'll be the one who gets the win to build momentum post Money in the Bank.
and then she'll
Yeah.
she'll get thrown off the roof.
Yeah, she's there. You know, there might be other people there. I'm sure there's gonna be people not in the match that are in the match. You know what I'm saying?
Tamina's gonna get thrown off the roof.
Hopefully that adds
Nia.
into like maybe a potential different winner.
Yeah.
Like a non-announced
Maybe
winner.
Tamina will do the Superfly splash off the roof.
just-
on
just-
Sasha.
Brian, I swear to God, I was just thinking that. Bro. You just read my mind. That's hilarious. I was just going to say that right before you open your mouth. That's so fucking funny.
All right, real quick. I have one quick prediction because I don't think we're not going to get everyone on the live stream tomorrow for the Money in the Bank predictions. I have one prediction of someone who's going to be shown during the Money in the Bank match.
Truth.
Nope. Well, maybe, but I think this one's even more funny. So I think someone's going to go to the elevator
Yeah.
and cheat and go up to the top, and the elevator doors are going to open, and it's the Boogeyman.
I bet it's Styles, if anyone.
I could see Boogeyman in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think
They have to have a couple wacky characters. Brother Love's gonna be in there
Yep.
because he's there.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see.
My big prediction is that Black wins, and I already pitched my idea, and I got
Loved
Austin
that.
sign off on it, so that made me happy.
I'd still like very random fantasy booking because I don't think I'm going to make the stream because I'll be at work.
Yeah.
Killer Cross somehow shows up and wins. I don't think it's going to happen. I just would
They
really
can't-
like
they
to see
He's gonna
that.
stay in NXT.
They can't
No,
have,
and have him cash in on Cole.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah,
already
I
had the
don't-
NXT
yeah.
cash in, so I don't think that's going to be.
I don't
Right.
see any NXT people.
No.
yeah, I don't.
There's
see
gonna be
it
more
either.
goofball legends and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just a very
Like Harvey
fantasy.
Whippleman or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I think the fact that we already had a random person who wasn't supposed to be winning the belt last time or the case last time, I don't think they're going to go back to back with that.
Right, and that's fair.
You never know, but
All right, so
I think Bruce Pritchard or Brother Love is an excellent call because he's
Yeah.
already in Connecticut. You
Yep.
don't have to fly him in. Excellent call.
yeah, that's gonna be the best.
So-
That's gonna be the best part about the card this week is when you have your random appearances. And
yeah.
we can,
Now, what if they give you credit if you put Brother Love and Bruce Pritchard shows up? Do you still get credit or vice versa?
Shane Helms would have
I don't
been
know.
funny, especially if he would have been in the hurricane gimmick. Could have like flown
Yeah,
to
but
the
they
top.
got rid of all them people.
Yeah.
or
exactly.
someone gets thrown off and like Superman, he catches them and flies them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I heard one podcast saying,
Brian will immediately blow up the chat,
Yeah.
hate it, and then turn it off.
do you think anyone will use a helicopter and like they'll come down from like the rope ladder?
Someone can teleport up to the top,
Maybe
Might
just
teleport when you can fly.
Yeah.
Seth just does it again.
Get a rocket pack.
like a Batman grapple hook.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling you, this
And they do the Batman walk up the side of the building.
This is a movie match. It doesn't matter what happens.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a shit show, but it's gonna be a fun shit show. All right, what else happened on Raw?
To start Raw, MVP had the VIP lounge. It was kind of the opposite of last week. It was the 3 women from Raw in the women's Money in the Bank match. And Asuka and Shayna Baszler got a little bit of revenge on Nia Jax.
Yeah, I think they should have a bouncing ball subtitles for Asuka though.
I don't love it. It's so weird now. I said this last week how because of Asuka, all the Japanese women just have to yell incoherently now.
Yeah.
Whenever they're talking to somebody.
I always liked it when someone speaks a different language and everyone understands them.
Yeah,
And then they speak English back and they understand them.
Yeah.
Like that's
like
the best.
Chewbacca and Han Solo.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's so cool.
It's weird that like
Chewbacca.
it's weird that like
I do it every
Tozawa
time.
and Kushida are speaking English on NXT in their promos.
Yeah.
They're speaking English.
I mean, they're trying.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tozawa's English is pretty good, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, same.
Yeah, it's like R2D2. That's the weirdest thing you've ever said, and you're like, you don't know what he fucking said. That's fucking fun. That's
A
a
lot
great.
of those are rich guys. They can understand Delirious. They can understand anybody.
Yeah.
All right, after our VIP segment.
So yeah, we had the gauntlet for the vacant spot in the Money in the Bank. It starts with Bobby Lashley just running through people. He beats Titus O'Neil, Akira Tozawa, and Shelton Benjamin in about 3 minutes combined.
Yeah.
And then he,
that's a big win.
He looks impressive.
And then he
It
meets
does.
and then he meets his match. He meets his match and he loses to Humberto Carrillo by DQ.
Yeah,
And he gets mad at Lana over it or Lana gets mad at him later because like I could have kept you under control.
yeah. And then he's like, "You're too beautiful."
And then they kind of gave Humberto Carrillo a little bit of a shine here because he beats Angel Garza even though he got beat up by Lashley. Then he winds up beating Austin Theory. But then the phenomenal zombie comes in, AJ Styles, and
with
he
the-
gets the win and he's in Money in the Bank.
With no.
But see, Humberto doesn't actually get a shine though, because that's every goddamn gauntlet match WWE does. They do
Yeah,
the
that's
same exact booking. The face will win 3 matches and lose to the last hill every single time.
it's like a contract
And the
signing.
last 2 times they've done a gauntlet, and the last 2 times they've done it was AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And then AJ
Yeah.
lost the Undertaker the time before.
AJ should
But
start
I-
doing the Taker sit up. Like when he's on the mat with his back on the mat, he should do like the eyes roll
he
up.
should
and
do
sit
some.
up.
I mean, the whole thing. He's dead and now he's back with no explanation. That's such a lost
They
story.
said it something. They said something on the commentary about it. But here's where I can play maybe devil's advocate here. How many buried alive matches have we had? Our
Yeah,
casket.
but the
matches?
guy's been gone. Like
SmackDown,
Mankind's
everybody.
been gone for a while.
But they don't say like,
Kane's
well,
been gone.
here's how they're
they don't-
still
The only guy
alive.
that's ever really, the only guy that's ever gotten buried was the Undertaker, and it's the Undertaker. Like the Undertaker has magic powers.
What about
Yeah.
the Paul
Yeah,
Heyman
yeah,
like
yeah,
cement?
everybody has
gimmick?
gimmick.
Well, that's what. Yeah, he never came back.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
He legit died.
He died.
Yeah, he legit
Yeah,
died.
well, no, yeah. After, but I'm saying like, if this was a Batman movie,
Yeah.
right? And Robin just dies and then comes back, and they never explain
But
it.
they never said the word.
And then
that
they have
AJ
another
said,
movie.
though. No one's ever said that.
And yeah, but he's buried alive. Come on, his hands.
You know, no, I see Andy Hedder's thing. I was
If
just
Robin-
reading Jonathan.
Yeah.
I was reading Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run where Human Torch Johnny Storm was dead for like 6 issues, and there's a whole issue explaining where he was and how he came back. So
Yeah.
Oh, you listen, that's a great
agree
run.
with
I
you.
love Johnny Hickman's Fantastic Four, one of the best runs ever. So I have nothing bad to say about that. but we can't be comparing it to movies and comic books now, okay?
But it is. But how pissed would people be?
No one ever said AJ was dead. The commentators never like, hey, AJ died, because first off, it's a PG show.
We
No one
just
died
we
on the
assumed
show.
he's dead because that's what
Yeah.
happens when you're
He
buried
had
alive.
an arm sticking through the grave, which was really a piece of wood. But like, it's not like he was buried completely where his whole body was covered. He could have lived and been in mental
Well,
hospital.
then they should have had a video of Gallows and Anderson digging him out.
Well, they
But
died.
they're dead.
I know, but they died too.
I
Or
thought
somebody.
I thought the idea of his hand sticking out was to show that he's still alive, like that he's about to crawl
And
through the dirt.
Exactly.
He can
Austin.
breathe
That's
through his
exactly what I
arm. It's
thought.
amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
He
thought.
was about
too.
to pull himself
I don't
out.
know. You got to give some explanation.
Yeah.
If it was a movie, people
Well-
would be so pissed.
Well, if it was a movie, when their hand comes through the dirt, that's them showing that they're still.
It's like Step Brothers.
it would have to move or something.
It's like a horror movie. Yeah,
Like Freddy.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, but AJ
But the
doesn't have.
next night there was a match in the
Cowards.
Phantom Zone. They don't care about this stuff.
Where's John Cena?
I just don't like. There's no consistency.
We're trying to say
That's
if there's
fair.
logic to WWE. If there was
There's
logic
not.
in WWE, half the shit wouldn't happen. That
Yeah.
fucking happens.
Another good point.
Yeah.
The
All right.
suspension of disbelief.
I like how we're arguing over the fucking-
Well, if you're gonna do something wacky, you gotta follow through.
I know. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. What else happened? Well, AJ's going to Money in the Bank.
Continuity in WWE has never been friends.
Yeah.
No.
So
Unless
that's
it's
one
the
thing.
Shield.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
then
they
they-
don't- somehow they can book the Shield correctly.
So then you have Rollins doing an interview with Charlie Caruso. They kind of brought up the whole thing. They were doing a little bit of a tease with Murphy, and because Murphy was wrestling Drew later, nothing really there. Rollins is saying he's going to win the title. They hype up Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink, and then lo and behold, Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink defeat Ricochet and Charlotte Alexander.
Crazy.
Cedric Alexander. Sorry.
Supposedly they're getting a push.
I don't see it.
I'm okay with it.
I don't think people like Ricochet. I don't think Vince likes him for some reason.
Well, you make
It doesn't seem like it.
You make a video.
Then
you,
why?
That
if,
might be it.
If Vince didn't like Ricochet, why would have he been one of the four that they originally called up?
Well, that yeah,
The
he
Gargano,
liked him
Ciampa.
at the time. He doesn't like him anymore.
Yeah.
The fact that he's in a promo.
is terrible on the mic.
That's
I
true.
think
Yeah,
the
he
story with
is.
that is I think the story with that is Vince told Triple H, "Give me the four most over guys in NXT."
Yeah.
and he said, "Okay, Black, Ricochet, Ciampa, and Gargano."
But they got like a really cool tag triple threat match where Ricochet was able to do the flip over the corner post. Like they were really letting them go.
Yeah.
So and
Ricochet's
then,
amazing. It's just that they're having him lose to friggin' Brendan Vink. That's the problem.
I would put
Well,
him.
Brendan Vink is apparently in line for a push too. I just read that yesterday.
Well, he's 6'5" and he's well built. Of course, Vince is going to love
yeah,
him.
there you go.
Yeah. And he's not finger blasting his beehole on the internet.
yeah,
good
that doesn't
point.
help, I feel like.
Which
Yeah,
you
that
never
doesn't-
know.
that
Vince,
doesn't help.
Vince
That
hates
we
people
know
for
of.
reasons.
yeah, but no, but
give
he
it a
loves
couple-
Seth. For,
Give it a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Listen, Seth the dick pic. That looked very impressive. You know, you gotta.
Give him the
No, it
title.
doesn't look impressive. Are you crazy?
I mean, I didn't actually
That
see
shit
the
was
picture.
tiny as fuck. All right, listen, I'm a reporter. I got to report these things. All right.
Some ball
If I'm gonna
smackage.
Google it, I'm gonna take a fucking look. Why not?
Broadcast journalist.
Exactly. Journalism.
And then his girl left him for Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Her clit's probably the same size as Seth's penis, so like it all kind of works together.
There you go. My God.
Alrighty.
taking a turn.
So what else happened on Raw?
In non-title action, the Viking Raiders defeated the Street Profits.
Yeah. Clean.
Good match
Yeah,
too.
Set up a tag title match. Oh, yeah.
I
That
actually
like
like the
early
story that
false
Street
finish was
Profits
really
can't
good.
Yeah.
As long as they don't do that stupid car ride video thing.
yeah.
What was
Stay with-
that?
Keep them in the ring. They don't need to talk.
Yeah.
Just be big guys that beat people up.
Yeah.
That's all you need sometimes.
Yeah. What if
And later they said they
Assassin's
extinguished
Creed?
the
What if
smoke.
Assassin's Creed starts promoting the new video game
With them?
with them as the champions?
That'd be a-
That'd be cool.
I would love that.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, if they put a title on Jinder because they were touring India,
yeah.
crazier things.
Listen, they put the title on Jinder because he deserved it.
No way.
He's a hard
Oh my
worker. He's a
God.
good Canadian dude.
That's a statement that's 100% false.
Puts in the work.
I went on WWE Shop and they had a Jinder shirt for $9,
I was going to say $5.
but it wasn't in my size. It was in small
sent you a
and
$20 bill.
5X. Yeah.
They said it's $20.
The other one sold
Pay
out.
a $20 bill if you order that shirt.
I would have wore it. I'd have been standing in front of my little banner.
He's
here.
a WWE champion. I'd wear it with pride. He beat
Yeah.
Randy Orton. He beat Shinsuke Nakamura.
clean.
Ugh.
He made fun of Nakamura being Japanese.
Yeah.
Listen.
And it was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
Because he's not white. He's allowed to do that.
Yeah.
He
I-
got booked with
this-
Brock Lesnar. Brock's like, nope.
This is what I thought. There wasn't one Indian wrestler in the world that was better.
No,
Not one.
there's not one who is.
Like he's
Look
got
how big he is.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
he's got a good look. He's proven that he could be funny before with the 3MB stuff. Like that stuff's really good.
Ugh, I thought that stuff was awful.
It was cringy,
never
but
seen it.
there was this one promo. I'm not gonna get into it. In general, like,
Yeah.
if he could just learn how to do the like main part, which is the wrestling, I'd be okay with it.
He'd be a great wrestler if he only knew how to wrestle.
He's a 5-star machine. Next, what else?
Oh my god.
He does a V trigger.
He does a V trigger. All right, what else happened on Raw?
The only thing I liked ever from Jinder was because he did that whole thing with Rob Gronkowski at the WrestleMania thing where Mojo won the Andre Battle Royal.
Yeah.
The year after that was when the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they show Gronkowski just sitting there at the very end, like kind of looking defeated, and they have Jinder's face like in the upper corner, just
Yes.
like, shouldn't have hindered, and it was amazing.
Oh, that is good.
So you're a confirmed Jinder Mahal fan. All right. Anyway, what happened on Raw?
For one night, I was. Next was a Charlotte. Promo. Just a basic cutting a promo on EO, kind of plugging NXT.
Yeah.
Didn't work. They got
Smart.
throttled in the ratings.
Synergy.
And then Liv Morgan comes out and it sets up a match where Charlotte beats Liv Morgan in a non-title match.
That match was good. Showcased like kind of what Liv could do.
Charlotte's fucking.
I don't think they know what to do with Liv.
Yeah,
I
I think
agree.
they're trying to figure it out, but Charlotte's fucking.
At least she's getting exposure.
She
against
had that
Charlotte.
promo where she said, "I'm trying to figure it out." I'm like, oh.
They're booking her. They
you're a
book,
lesbian
they
for
book
1
her to
week.
beat really good people, and then they book her against someone big, and she loses. So it's
Yeah.
like, what the?
Which is okay. She's just got to build her way.
Yeah, as long as you put forth a
Right
good
now,
effort.
unless I'm forgetting something, they only have 2 babyface women on Raw, and they're not going to have Becky lose, so somebody's got to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlotte is just fucking fantastic.
I agree.
Yep.
There's people that say she's not.
And then in a
but-
match that I wish would have been given a lot more time, because two guys I really like, Drew McIntyre beat Murphy in a non-title match.
Great, good match, fun match.
Dude, like
Yeah, it was
McIntyre's
great, like 6-minute match. Yeah.
Yeah, McIntyre's been in the main event spot, and all of the matches have been 6 minutes, and then there's a flurry afterwards.
It's just a shame that McIntyre got the title during a COVID outbreak
Yeah.
because it's going to come down to
Yeah.
like, well, look, the ratings are super low, and it's because Drew McIntyre's our champion.
Yeah,
and
put it back on Goldberg.
put it. Yeah, we got to bring in some nostalgia and put the belt on him. People like that shit, and it's going to
Put
suck.
her on Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash.
7 foot.
or Scott Hall
Crazier
after he
things,
got
crazier things.
banned on Twitter or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Oh no, he got into an argument with
Session
Yeah,
Moth
I've never
Martinez.
seen her wrestle, so I can't say anything about it.
and he didn't get banned. He turned off his account.
Yeah.
He said something about something. and
Scott Hall got banned, I think, for something.
No, he deleted his account. He made a post, and then the girl from Impact said, "Yeah, it's crazy coming from a guy who offered to buy me a boob job on Twitter, but then never paid up." And then he said something to
He
her.
replied, "Shut up, bitch."
Yeah,
and
he
then
did
like
a
one other
personality
thing.
transplant
Yeah,
or
he's like,
something.
he's
But,
Yeah,
like,
and
he's
then
like,
he
bitch, you need a personality transplant. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he deleted his
but
account.
it sounds like she wanted the boob job, so I mean, you can't.
Yeah, she was just saying, "Listen, you said you were going to do it, you never
Yeah.
did it. Come on now." All right, so Raw is now over. Well, let's jump into NXT.
NXT opening match, and one thing I noticed, and I noticed it last week, and this isn't the fault of anybody. I know I like to take a shot at the NXT announcers, but they do kind of jump over each other a little bit, and it's because Tom Phillips is the only one that's actually there.
Oh, okay.
Morrow and
Oh.
Beth Phoenix are not in the building. It
Okay.
seems.
I kind of like. I
makes sense.
thought it was kind of jarring for a little, especially when Tom Phillips would talk, and that makes sense.
Good call, Brian.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, when they're not. And believe me, I'll take any chance I can to take a shot at Morrow, but not his fault here.
Yeah.
And he's been alright. He hasn't really annoyed me the last couple weeks here.
Yeah, I
But-
think Morrow's great, but sometimes he gets on a roll and doesn't let anybody get a word in it.
Yeah.
Brian
Yeah.
just doesn't like how he makes the arm drag sound like it's the greatest move of all time.
Yeah,
Or all of his
everything is the
references.
last minute of the main event of WrestleMania with him. But the opening here was Johnny Gargano with his new persona beating Dominik Dijakovic. New music for Gargano, new like presentation, everything.
I hate
the one thing
new
I love is
music.
that
I was gonna say he needs
the music.
His
yeah.
old music was very spacey. So.
Yeah.
I disagree. Because, like, in general, the theme of it is Rebel Heart.
It was really upbeat. I thought it was a very. I think Andy's right.
I'm just at the point where I'm sick of as soon as someone turns heel, especially in NXT, it's an immediate song change. I don't think that always needs to happen. I thought with Nakamura
Depends.
it worked. I thought with
Did Johnny
Shirai
Gargano
worked.
get more attractive though? That's usually what happens though. That's when someone gets. I mean,
I don't know if
it
he
didn't
get
work
more
for his wife. It didn't work for his wife.
I don't know. I
That's
kind of
fair.
like her with the purple hair and everything.
I don't. With the black lipstick.
I do
Yeah,
like.
I like that.
I do like the little tagline they have for him now because they used to call him the heart and soul of
all
NXT.
heart, no soul.
Yeah, I like that line a lot.
Yeah.
I really liked that
But I
match
didn't-
though.
What I didn't like is now the slingshot DDT is his finish. I get that like, because he's a heel, you may not want to have a submission finish because if he's going to beat people clean, it's a little you don't want too many baby faces tapping out. But yeah, he's doing that slingshot DDT now as his finish.
But
Yeah.
that's what he
It's
beat
called
Ricochet
one final
with.
beat.
I'm okay with
And
that.
Ciampa.
As a heel, he beat Ricochet with that DDT for the North American Championship.
Oh.
So I think it's okay still.
that's right, yeah.
Continuity.
Yeah. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, next match.
Then we had an Imperium promo where they challenged Riddle and Thatcher for the tag titles next week, and then we got run in the Cruiserweight tournament with Tozawa beating Jack Gallagher. That puts Tozawa up to 2-0 in the tournament, and Gallagher down to 0-2. And my problem with that, really quick before everybody else chimes in, you're having Tozawa kind of run the table in this tournament, and then he's getting beat every week on Raw.
Yeah. I want to rewind a little bit. Riddle and Thatcher. Riddle and Pete Dunne are tag team champions.
Yeah.
Well,
Riddle and Thatcher.
when Thatcher's there, he doesn't help. Riddle holds both belts.
Yeah,
It-
but I mean, like,
It's just like an interim guy. And in general, it's the most perfect guy that they could have filled.
Is he
the
missing
Pete Dunne
teeth?
Spot.
What's going on with him?
Probably.
you know what he's
from-
missing? Charisma.
Yeah, he has no charisma.
He's like zero charisma.
I
But
think
But
They
he's
should make
with
that-
Matt Riddle.
Yeah, but they should
That's
make that
his
his gimmick.
gimmick,
though. Yeah.
Like Lance Storm.
I think Thatcher's gimmick is exactly. I think his gimmick is he has so little charisma that he's actually charismatic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pete Dunne tries
Like
to act
the
like he has
badass.
no charisma, but he actually does.
And then he
yeah.
cries in every match. I love Pete Dunne, but he does cry in almost every match. Like he'll make the face that he's crying in every match.
that's one thing I hate.
That's a British thing, though.
And a pet peeve when the shocked face when someone kicks out of a big move. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
but like AEW
You know
does
who-
that
you know-
same
I
thing.
know. I don't want anyone to do that.
That's
You know
fair.
who? You know who-
Anywhere.
You know who does a really good job with the face when someone kicks out? Charlotte. She doesn't get shocked. She just like.
Yeah, you should get angry, but don't.
Yeah.
The shock thing is so overdone. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Geez, stop
Yeah,
it."
you're building emotion.
Yeah, I think Charlotte does it really good. Where she's
Yeah.
like, "You bitch."
That's how you
kicked
should
out.
be.
Now I got to kick your fucking face off.
So with the Tozawa thing, all right. So yeah, he's winning all of his matches in the Cruiserweight tournament, but losing on Raw. But let's look at that.
But they're-
He's winning against cruiserweights and losing against people outside of his weight class. I think once this tournament blows over, and I also saw something like a friend of mine sent that Heyman really likes Tozawa. I think once all of this is over, he'll probably have a really good show. He already has a really good showing in the Cruiserweight tournament, and he'll probably be in the final two. It'll probably be him and maybe Kushida. I don't know.
She does win that.
And then afterwards, he's been on Raw every week, which
Rashida's
is
definitely
more,
won.
which is more than he was when he was the actual cruiserweight champion, which is a good thing. So afterwards, I think he's going to be more of a regular on Raw, and I would love to see them use him as a heel like Tajiri and ECW. Just have him go out and start killing people or try to kill people. He could use weapons. He could just go back to his
Spit mist.
his cruiserweight.
Every
classic,
Japanese person should have missed.
his cruiserweight classic style when he was just German people left and right and dropping them on their heads, and like his transition game, which like to Kushida's extent is good too. Just have him turn heel and just turn into a killer.
Here's the problem. He goes up the Raw.
Yeah,
That's what's
it's
gonna
gonna be hard to
happen.
book him.
Exactly.
It's gonna be hard to book him as a killer when he's 3'0".
No, but that's what I'm saying. Incorporate weapons.
They're not going to use him. He's just going to be a job guy. He's going to be
Yeah.
what Ricochet is right now.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
I agree. All right, what else happened?
Then we had Chelsea Green with Robert Stone beating Xia Li with her finish, the I'm Prettier.
I like
Great name.
I like Xia Li, but she's a little green yet.
Yeah, and that finisher looked bad. It didn't even.
It was
look-
edited.
It didn't even look like it.
It looked
Yeah.
edited.
Yeah,
Again, yeah. Every time she does, it looks terrible.
yeah. She's fun to look at though.
Yeah, she's not.
She went for a broski boot,
She's not
You
very
know
good,
it.
not very good in the ring.
No.
and then Aaliyah showed up to interfere in that
Yeah,
match.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, Leah's still around.
Aaliyah-
I'm surprised she escaped that release thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's gonna end up
She's
joining
super
that
young,
group.
so maybe I think there's like something there.
Yeah, I think she's gonna become part of that stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I never liked
Oh,
Robbie.
and just like the start of that match, Chelsea Green was wearing like the bridal skirt
Oh, she had
thing.
a
Yeah.
very glittery skirt.
She threw it at Xia Li and like kicked her to start the match. I was like, okay, I'm cool with that.
was she the hot mess?
But here's the problem.
Yes.
I think she should
yes,
actually.
yeah,
She
she
came
was-
out
she
with
was Laurel
that. She
Van
came
Ness.
out with that skirt, and it was like very glittery. Every single person who wrestled after her, the
Oh, glitter?
entire
Oh.
ring was covered.
That's
like
funny.
Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole looked like they just left the strip club.
and that was the
That's
main
awesome.
event.
Yeah, they
It
came
was
out
like when
spar-
Goldust.
Yeah, they came out looking like vampires
Sparkling.
from Twilight. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, new Twilight book
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
That's up there with Ginger being world champion.
All right.
Anyway.
What do we got?
So up next, this is going to be the one I think a lot of people are going to have a take on. It was the debut of Karrion Kross beating Leon Ruff, who was the guy that Sheamus beat on SmackDown.
What did he finish him off with? I seen the entrance. I thought the entrance was really
The,
cool.
the submission.
cross
the cross jacket.
Okay,
Yeah.
the lip syncing thing, a little wonky, but it's all right. And also, Scarlett
Yeah,
lost her
they
last
seem
name.
to be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to be doing a thing where they want to make Scarlett almost look like a late 80s, early 90s Madonna. I guess that's maybe why they're having her lip sync. But yeah, very high production on it. They made them look like a really big deal right off the bat, and I think they're going to have a very bright future.
There's one
They
guy
should
my-
do this at least for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
This is exactly every one of his matches should go 45
just-
seconds to a minute every week.
So much smoke machine.
Yeah, just destroy people.
Ooh, so much smoke.
Because that's what that you just keep winning, destroying people.
Yeah.
The one there's
That
some kid on
first-
Facebook
that-
that he loves it. He's like a super mark. He's like changed
Oh,
his picture to it.
Michael, the kid who does the fantasy bookings.
No, was it him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
He's
man.
really
yeah.
into it,
He was
yeah.
like, "This is the best thing ever." He loves it. I was like,
Well, listen, Scarlett Bordeaux is if she's on TV, I'm all about it. But here's where I'm going to give Scarlett some love here, more love than just for her derriere. She always been just that smoke show girl who comes out and just kind of uses
so
her
it's a
sex appeal
different gimmick.
Yeah, she's coming off as a crazy kind of monsterish evil heel, and I think she did it very well.
And in general, there was focus on her.
Yeah.
She wasn't just a valet. She wasn't just a hot
She's
person.
going to be a valet.
There
but
was
she's-
importance to her.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. My jaw dropped the entire
That's why I
entrance.
wonder how they'll explain it. Rather than they're married. I don't want that. Like explain it, but get a little story. Like she's bringing this monster here to win the world title. Or whatever.
Although they did kind of tease that with them saying Gargano and Candice LeRae want to be known as the best married couple.
I don't think
You don't
I
have
don't
two
think
heels.
I don't think Scarlett is
Yeah, I'll keep them
ever
far
going to
apart.
wrestle.
I agree.
I don't think Scarlett is there to wrestle. She's there to be a valet, which there's nothing wrong with.
Ciampa's wife was on Tough Enough, just say.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, she's not a wrestler.
Shout out to Leon Ruff, though. Like, that one clip of him on Main Event against Aleister Black surfaced on Twitter, and then the next week he was on Raw. He's wrestled against Sheamus. He was Karrion Kross's debut match. Good for him.
It's like Pineapple Pete.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
He's
Good for
wrestling
him.
Jericho next week.
Yo, he took a German suplex. I thought he got his neck broke.
The first Saito,
Yeah.
and he immediately, and then the next one he took, he made sure he blocked it.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks
I
scary.
always do that too because you never know.
Yeah,
especially
Killer
with-
Cross definitely bought his dinner that night.
it was now here's the thing. Killer Cross, when he first came out to his entrance, looks massive. But then he kind of got in the ring, and he's not as big as I thought he
Yeah,
was.
you think, this guy's 6'8".
Yeah. Like he's no
I was just
Lance.
gonna ask,
He's
how
not
tall-
Lance Archer.
Oh, my God.
Like Lance Archer
Is 6'8".
is a big
Yeah.
dude.
It's about
when
how
he-
you carry
except when he
yourself,
wrestled Dustin. Dustin's a big dude.
He
too.
doesn't know as tall as him, man.
Yeah. Which was a fantastic match. But anyway, we talked about
The
that
one
last
other
week.
thing, the one other thing I thought was a little weird with this is they do this big entrance and they turn the lights back on and there's like all this smoke still in the ring.
Yep.
And then the ref just kind of like casually starts like, I guess we're gonna have a match now.
He like pops out of the corner.
Yeah. I think Killer Cross should have some type of jacket though or something. He looked a little weird coming out just
Yeah.
with his tights.
Yeah.
And I don't think he should wear tights. He should have pants of some sort, even if
Yeah.
they're tight.
Gotta
like
front
edge
the
pants.
body, pal.
Yeah.
Show off those abs. All right.
Well,
Well,
yeah, show off the abs. So you don't have to wear pants. Pants don't
just
cover
don't
your
wear
abs.
those Tony Nese jackets where you show
And-
off your abs. Like you're wearing a sports
And the one thing
bra.
and I know they can't go all in on this because it's a PG product, but the one thing I would kind of maybe model them after, I'd be like, hey, watch a little bit of Natural Born Killers. Be Mickey and Mallory a little bit.
Yeah.
And like the last part of that really sold it on me was Tom Phillips' line. They said, "Who let the damn devil?"
Oh, great line.
in
I
WWE?"
put I put
Yeah.
that in the chat.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. That was so good.
I have one issue with this stable, where he's this crazy, sick, sadistic, creepy dude.
Well, he used to be like a demon to an extent.
We already have that guy
Absolutely.
right now.
Who?
And he has just as much pull in NXT being a creepy dude, and he's not even trying.
Oh.
Dexter?
Dexter.
Loomis.
Oh, I
love
have not
Dexter
seen
Loomis.
him yet.
Oh, he's so good.
He was in the main event.
We'll get into
actually.
Dexter
We'll get
Loomis.
to
Yeah.
that.
Go ahead, Brian. Take us home.
And then Io Shirai
yeah.
beats Charlotte Flair by DQ next.
yeah, great
Brilliant.
match.
That was brilliant booking.
Yes.
Brilliant booking.
And then we
Io
had
strong, Charlotte keeps the title.
Yeah.
Rhea comes in.
Rhea Ripley makes her return and call Charlotte. The only thing that Rhea did that I was like, ugh, that was
She
bad.
did that stupid foot stomp.
No, she didn't do a foot stomp. She didn't go stomp her foot and then run in and help. She was like, "Come on, Charlotte, get in here, get in my ring." And then she did like an imaginary. She drew like an imaginary line. She goes, "Cross the line, and Charlotte was already gone.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
yeah. It was like a weird
You're
weird
being
trash talk
intimidating
thing.
to someone's back.
Yeah, it was strange.
And then later they have a little bit of a brawl between Io and Rhea backstage.
Yeah. And Rhea's nursing a knee
Yeah, that's
injury.
so good.
Charlotte kind of aggravated her surgically repaired knee, so they're going
Okay.
that angle with Rhea. Where Rhea, not Io, where Io may not be 100% because the knee is injured again. All right,
And then we had another match in the Cruiserweight tournament. Kushida also goes to 2-0, beating Jake Atlas.
The
good match.
I thought it was short.
Yeah,
Short,
yeah,
but it
it
was good.
was. But
They
the finish was
maximized
smooth.
Every second they had. Yeah, they maximized every second they
Yeah,
had.
it was
Absolutely.
short, but they were 1,000 beats per minute. They were going full bore.
And I felt that way with the Tozawa match too.
Yeah,
Like it was really quick. Then there was the DDT on the outside. and that was it.
Kushida's winning me over. He's fun.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's good.
He's excellent.
You should see him in New Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're calling him the next Juice and Liger. That's what they're trying to book him as.
because he's
I think
doing the
he
show
would've-
No problem with that.
If he would have stayed there, I think he'll eventually go back. I could see that.
Yeah.
But he wanted to go. He wanted to graduate out of the junior division, make it to the heavyweight division. Even if it's not heavyweight,
Yeah.
but that's what he wanted. And they kind of wanted him to stay there, so that's why he left. I mean, you
And he
win.
went right back to a 205
Yeah,
division.
yeah. I mean, when you win the junior title 5 or 6 times and the junior tag title 4 times, then what more is there really to do?
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they're not going to bring you up.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
He's got to put on weight though, because that's what
Yeah.
Will Ospreay did. But Will Ospreay actually put on muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for some people move up, some people don't. It's different.
Yeah.
All right, and then Brian.
Then you had a little promo with Finn Balor, which led into a Cameron Grimes match beating Denzel Dejournette. And Grimes cuts this promo where he brings up Finn Balor and he's talking about Finn Balor, and then they did the thing where Finn Balor is right behind them.
He's like, I'll
They
smack
give him a little-
Finn in the mouth, and then he's like, I'm here, smack
Right.
me in the mouth, and then Cameron's away.
And then then Cameron runs away, and I think they're doing that next week. I think they announced that later. They're doing a match with those two next week.
But Finn does not know who attacked him,
right.
and his quote was, "I thought the only snakes in this company were in the front office."
Nope.
Yeah,
And then he said, "You
Did
know
it
what you
shoot,
do with the
brother?
snake? You cut the head off."
You put it on Brandy Road.
and then you hump her. All right, go ahead.
I mean, I would have did both those
my
things. So
God.
I
And then you do your DDP push-ups over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thrust a snake into her crotch and her boobies, and then you get in there for the kill.
Hey, we're not making this up just for our viewers. This actually happened.
We'll get into that.
And
All
then
right.
and then you step on the snake.
Yeah, and then you step on the snake. They're gonna get a letter for that. And then act like you're gonna throw it in the front row. Go
So
ahead.
then the main event. The main event is Adam Cole retaining the NXT title over Velveteen Dream, thanks to some shenanigans.
and thanks to some internet activity.
That's true.
I mean, the fact that he was even on air is like, it's interesting. Velveteen. The fact that he's even on air is very interesting. Because
that story seems to have died.
Yeah,
It did.
Yeah, so it probably isn't true. I didn't think it was true, but you don't put the title on just in case it is.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing. Here's the thing that I'll play devil's advocate here. There was more evidence in his story than Enzo's.
Exactly.
Was it?
Yep.
ooh, yeah, that's true.
There was there was actual voices.
But then Enzo got cleared though. So
he was fired before he even got a chance to be
but he
cleared.
wasn't fired for that.
He
That
was
was the
he was fired for
the reason
That was the straw that broke the
that
camel's
they
back. with
used.
Enzo.
Yeah. But that wasn't why he was
just
fired.
saying. Just saying.
No, that's a fair. I think
Yeah.
that's a fair point.
And I think with Enzo, what they got really mad at was that he didn't give them the heads up that this was happening.
Well, he didn't know. And he has proof that he said he didn't. The day he found out from the cops that he was under investigation, he took it straight to them, and they're trying to say that he didn't.
So it's he said.
said, she said.
Who knows?
But regardless, we won't get into that.
Adam Cole, the longest reigning NXT champ.
Here's my only thing. I was very high on Dream before his injury. I was very pro Dream. He's meh to me now.
He's really slowed down because
He
of
has
injury.
been
Yeah.
he's been a turd in the way he's come back. He
His
has done
matches
nothing.
are not that great. His character is not that appealing anymore.
I mean, some of that was the booking with the whole like I want to steal your wife.
The Roddy
Yeah.
thing was weird.
was-
Yeah.
But even that's gone, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's weird that he's doing a stealing your wife gimmick, and then like all that stuff leaked about him
And
not
he's
going
supposed to be
after
the baby.
Weiss. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the baby face. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I think his injuries took a little toll on him.
Yeah, he's just not he's not the same performer as he was, to me anyway.
Which sucks because he's like 23 or 24. He's
Yeah.
very young.
Yeah,
Which could lead
dude,
to a change.
He was a guy that I was saying that this could be the next The Rock. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he had everything going for him, and then he came back and he's just super stale.
Yeah.
And that's not me being biased of the stories that came out. Even before the story came out, we were like, he's not there for me.
There's not another. He hasn't hit like another level yet.
Yeah.
He might have came back too soon. I don't know.
Yeah,
The
but-
booking didn't
but
help.
Yeah,
as-
he's
as-
definitely lost a lot.
As
of
Undisputed
momentum.
Era comes to the ring to interfere, Loomis comes crawling out from under the ring just
his
on his
fist.
fist.
Okay.
Just so fucking
I love
creepy.
that.
I'm
so
really.
great.
I'm a big fan of his.
His if they just take the photo they use for his Titantron where it's just like a cartoon of his face and
Yep.
those beady blue eyes and just put that on a t-shirt, I'll wear it.
With your baby little eyes.
Beady eyes.
Drop you on a stack of dimes you call Nick.
Yeah, I mean NXT was fun. I thought it was a decent show. Set up the tournament a little better.
Yeah.
We got to see a debut of Cross. The Adam Cole.
This
I mean,
match was obviously very good.
the
Charlotte match.
the Charlotte match, but now we have Rhea back, so that kind of opens up some doors. The only critique I have is, man, we need somebody for Adam Cole because I'm not. This dream thing's
Maybe
not.
Killer Cross.
This
Maybe
dream
Bobby
thing,
Fish.
This dream thing's not doing it for me.
The reason I say Bobby Fish is because the video that they posted on Twitter afterwards of like him celebrating and they're interviewing him, Bobby Fish doesn't smile. He's just looking at him the whole time.
No, I wouldn't
Gentlemen,
break
I
them
don't
up.
need to
Same
cut-
here. I'm just pulling out.
I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I got to get rocking and rolling here. So
All right, bud.
I will. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate you guys. Have yourself a good night, and we'll be in touch.
All right, cool.
You as well.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up here with AEW, and then we're done as well.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
See you, bud. All right. That being said, AEW, take us home.
AEW Dynamite back live again in Daly's Place in Jacksonville. Opening match, Cody beats Joey Janela. And they gave this match quite a bit of time. They gave Janela, he didn't win, but they gave him time to kind of do his thing here.
I think
Yeah,
Janela, when
I
Janela's
think-
on TV, he looks good. His match with Cody was good. His match with Kenny was good. I'm a Joey Janela fan.
I thought
I've
this match
hated
was pretty
Cody's
good.
booking for like the last 3 to 4 weeks. Every time Cody has a match, it's just be okay. Cody's gonna have a 20-minute match with a guy, try to get them over, and then win. But it's just the same exact story every single time. Like
That's been Cody
this
since
match with Darby.
that's
was the
been
same
Cody
thing. It's
since
just
the start
crazy.
of AEW.
Well, Cody had more emotion and stuff. Like when he wrestled that dude in the cage, there was emotion behind it. Now there's no emotion behind it. It's just let me go out there, wrestle a 20-minute match. I'll win, but I'll put over the babyface over by wrestling a 20-minute match with him. It's like, no, that's not working. But
It's
no.
a lot of like what Triple H used to do in
Yeah.
WWE.
I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked the match. I thought it was pretty good.
I was the same.
I thought it was a good match.
I was the guy who said I understand what Cody's doing. I like what Cody's doing, but it's getting boring and it's getting stale. And for the same reasons you're just saying now is what I was been saying, where he just kind of goes out and plays this like super golden baby face. He's literally the John Cena.
He's the company guy.
Yeah, and it's just to me it's super stale.
Which I'm
but-
fine with
yeah.
that. That's not my issue. My issue just is it's like the same match, just place opponent here. It's just like, okay.
It just seems like to me. It just seems like every single opponent he goes against takes him to the limit, and then you put him against. Like
Exactly,
Next
yep.
week he's gonna go against or for the pay per view he's gonna go against this big
Archer.
monster, and he's gonna take him to the limit where Joey Janela just took him, and Darby Allin who will weigh a
Yeah,
combined
Darby
weight
Allin
of
kick
the
out of a finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Sean
like that.
Spears kick out of his finisher.
Just,
It's like, what the hell is going on? Everyone kicks out of the crossroads. Everyone takes him to the limit. He barely beats them. It's just like, are we again? It's just booking for me in AEW. drives me- and I'm an AEW mark apparently online.
Yeah, it's
But
just
Jesus
like
Christ.
it's just like a Captain America comic. I don't know. It's just like he's gonna overcome all the odds, but he has to go through it. He has to get beat up real bad. And
He
be a
is
bloody
very
mess.
Captain America-ish. That's a good pull.
Yeah.
To play a little devil's advocate, I'm thinking maybe that leads to Lance Archer taking him to the limit and then beating him. I think that might be what that's
Oh,
leading
Lance
to.
Archer's gonna be your champion.
I'm glad they're
Oh, he's
both
totally
winning.
beating him, yeah.
To that way, who's going to win the title?
Yeah, true. They both have the same equal momentum
Yeah.
going into it.
I don't know. I thought the match was pretty good. I don't like that reverse top rope suplex. I think that's unnecessary and dangerous.
I like
is
a
very
reverse
dangerous looking.
suplex, but that is a dangerous
Yeah,
move.
it's a crazy spot. All right, next match.
So then you had the video package, just kind of highlighting the women's division. Nyla Rose cut a promo, just ran down Tony Schiavone and then squashed Kenzie Page.
I really liked that segment, like start to finish. It made her feel like
Power.
I know, like some of my friends weren't necessarily sold on Nyla right away, and I got a message from a couple of them, and they were like, "That was good. I really liked that."
And she went around the east side of the ring is like, "You're never taking."
Yeah, show the
this."
Statlander and
Who's the girl who beats her?
I don't know.
I would probably guess the other Japanese girl. What's her name?
Shida, Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru
Yeah,
Shida?
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she loses it in a 4-way or something like that, where she doesn't lose.
Or like Dr. Britt Baker sneaks it in.
Yeah,
I was just about to say,
like Britt pins
Chris
Chris Statlander.
Statlander.
Someone to like further establish them.
I
as a
could see that.
heel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Britt Baker.
That's a very...
I think Britt Baker's got to be your next women's champion.
I think.
Yeah.
I could see that. I think they might go. I think Shida might win next, and then Britt will get it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But,
I like that four-way
Yeah.
thing where Britt Baker sneaks out the win.
Because Nyla could be like, "Bring it on!" Like stack the odds against
And then
me.
you put a babyface against Nyla, so that way you keep her away from the title.
Yeah.
and she's like preoccupied.
Yeah.
Or you could even, if Britt Baker kind of screws around a title like that, where she pins somebody else to win it, maybe you turn Nyla babyface.
Yeah.
Have her just be that ass-kicking babyface, and then Britt's the cowardly heel.
In a couple months, Britt's gonna be babyface because everyone's gonna cheer because the stuff's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So-
true. That's true. Yeah.
She's like Jericho, where
Well,
everyone.
Britt is going to be the Charlotte of AEW. She's going to be the champion like 10, 12 times by the time it's all over.
her and Adam Cole as champ at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Britt
Listen,
Baker.
that could happen.
Fuck it, Gargano.
Britt Baker is your female Chris Jericho right now. All her segments are dynamite. She's saying shit that's becoming slogans. She's
I can't compare her to Chris Jericho.
She's really. I wouldn't.
She's Britt Baker.
Yeah.
She's the female in the female division. No one else is getting over. It's like she's getting over.
I think she's closer to the female MJF right now than the female Jericho.
Yeah, I think Bryan nailed that.
yeah.
Where she's the heel that everybody's kind of in on the joke, and they like that she's insulting everybody. She's very much that.
Yeah.
It kind of is the
I got a
same
piss
character
clip.
to an extent.
Yeah. Go ahead. Next match.
Speaking of MJF, he was next. He cut a promo talking about just him being the next big thing, essentially, and he's coming back in the ring next week. Then they did a video promo with Shawn Spears running down Cody, and then they did, I think, with Spears and MJF ringside, and that's when they announced that MJF will be wrestling Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing.
Well, they had that match on Dynamite like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
Yep.
And I like that MJF put like a $20 bill in Tony's.
I thought like it was really jarring how like first match they show MJF in the crowd and he like to the cameraman goes, "That's not social distancing."
but
and
there's
then
Shawn Spears.
and then they do the video package of MJF and then they come back to MJF in person.
Yeah.
It's just a little weird placement.
I guess I was like, well, I guess he's sent to be heel.
Nobody in that building was social
Yeah.
distancing.
So
That's true.
I don't
There was
know.
two things. There was two things I got from the promo. Number one, the promo reminded me of Bryan when he was like, "People will say that I'm good, but then they're like, well, he's no Piper and he's no this." And for some reason, I'm like, "That's Bryan. That's how you're supposed to MJF."
Well, those people are right too. That gives it a little bit of gravitas.
I mean, sure, but it's the same thing with Curtis Axel. It's like, well, he's not his dad. It's
Yeah.
like, well, who the fuck is his dad? though?
That's true.
Of course, MJF's not Piper yet. I mean, maybe in 10 years.
You were exactly right.
He's young,
Yeah.
24-year-old
He's 24.
piece
That's
of gold.
crazy.
Yeah. I think he's the next world title challenger. That's why.
Yeah.
I think he would have been if this Corona stuff didn't happen, or if he didn't get hurt actually because he was injured.
Yeah.
I believe.
I think you're exactly right.
But it's weird though because they could still do that because they're building up Brody Lee and Moxley with the same amount of time they could be building up MJF and Moxley. So
I would have done
Yeah.
it. I would totally would have still done MJF. And one of the big reasons why MJF can lose clean to John Moxley and he will not suffer the slightest bit.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Brian.
The
You know that.
slightest
Yep.
bit.
I agree. I don't think he'll be in that ladder match though that they're about to announce this week.
Are you talking about the John Moxley match?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
No, we were saying how
They're having a ladder match so that
who'll
the
be next world title
winner gets like a number one contender shot. Yeah.
Yeah, the Casino Battle Royal, which I think they announced like right after this, or maybe it was after the next match. The Casino ladder match. But they didn't say how many people are in it. Just multiple people.
Any early predictions
I don't.
for that?
I don't see MJF. I think Darby Allin's in it.
Which
Sammy
it's-
Guevara.
I know it's
I think
like
Darby
It's
is
for what belt? The world championship?
Yeah, you get a shot at the world title.
Yeah.
But not Money in the Bank
I know
style.
it's-
It's a shot. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it's kind of gonna make them look a little low rent that they are gonna have a ladder match for a title shot a
Yeah.
few weeks after Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad timing on their part.
I agree.
But it also gets people, ladder match, give me another one
Yeah.
on the same hand.
But people are
going
they ripping off
with
WWE.
Lee winning the championship, I think the winner is
Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio Sky.
All right. I'm
think
on the
s-
same wavelength.
I think Sky wins.
I think you're on track.
I can see Scorpio Sky
I'm on my
pushing
butt
him.
crack.
I can see him winning the title
Writing this
or
down.
winning the title shot and then losing. to
Tony
Moxley.
said Lee wins belt.
Yeah, and nobody else agrees.
And no, he's got me. I'm here
Tony
with
and
it.
Austin.
And then Scorpio Sky wins
And the
the.
rest of the planet.
Listen, when
Again, I will bet every single dime that Andy Header has that Brody Lee is not winning.
he's been doing really well. He's been working the whole time through the COVID. So, all right. Next match.
Next match was, speaking of, this is where the whole match we've been talking about got set up. Jon Moxley beat Frankie Kazarian, but then after the match, you had a bunch of Dark Order people come in and beat down Jon Moxley. Chris Daniels and Scorpio Sky tried to come in for the save, but they got beat down too because it's just too many numbers.
So,
And then that's where Brody Lee made the challenge.
so here's my thing. We're gonna complain about Cody getting taken to the limit by everybody. You just beat Jack Hager or whatever the hell he's
Jake
going by,
Hager.
Jake Hager now, who is a giant, and Kazarian takes you to the limit.
Yeah, I thought this match was a little slow and boring.
A person who hasn't wrestled a singles match, and I think he said like 410 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
and he takes your champion to the limit.
And I didn't.
It's like I said, this is what happens when you have a
didn't care for this
money
match.
man booking the show.
I did like when like Brody Lee like challenged him. I liked when Moxley
All
said,
he had to do was ask.
"Yeah." I was like, "That's funny."
Yeah. That was the only.
Like here's
It's
the
cliche of
thing.
Moxley.
I like Tony Khan, but I realized that he was a bigger mark than I thought he was. When he said his 5 pay-per-views of all time, 3 of them are AEW pay-per-views already.
Oh,
and I'm
God.
like, what,
Yeah.
dude? Are you insane? Like, what the hell are you talking
I wanna
about?
know-
No, but for
Dude,
personal reasons, why wouldn't they be his favorite?
yeah, but, I
he
mean,
is the
because there's
brainchild.
hundreds of years of great pay-per-views that he can have, and he throws on 3 shows, and all of a sudden they're top 5 of all time. Like, get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Well, they asked for his personal
Have you
ones
never
and to
watched
them.
New Japan in his life? Does he not watch other wrestling? Because maybe that's his
Me.
reason. Then.
ECW, which he said. he
Okay,
loves.
so like if we had our own promotion and we have ran 3 successful pay-per-views,
You know what my favorite match of all time is?
I don't-
Andy Header
And you
versus
put him on your
Gilbert.
favorite of all time. I
There
would
you
call
go.
you Mark Austin.
I would.
If we had
That's
our
fair.
own-
I would not.
If we had our own company and we
Yeah.
had on 3 shows, and you were like, "These are the 3 best shows of all time," I'd be like, "All right, bro."
No, they asked.
chill out."
Was
Scoop
it?
Sock is pretty high on my list.
There you go. See, there we go.
I wouldn't say anything for my own promotion, especially
Yeah,
it only
I
being
probably
for a
wouldn't
year.
either.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
blow myself. I wouldn't do that.
If you could reach, you would.
Now, if they said, "What is your
I mean, listen, I
best
could kiss
pay per views?" Then I'd be like, "Whoa."
But enough about Lanny and Poffo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, next segment.
The next segment was Brandy kind of digging her own grave, talking about how Jake Roberts doesn't scare her. It's not 1991. She'll hit back and everything like that. And it's like, oh, you're digging yourself a hole here.
I didn't mind the promo. I actually kind of liked it.
No,
And she
no,
said
it's
the F
fine.
word.
She's great at promo.
Yeah, she is good. Yeah, that's good. One thing she is very good
I
at.
think she's a little bit more of a natural heel with a baby face. But
That's why I think Cody's a
Yeah,
better
she-
heel
she-
too.
Well, even she says, she goes, "My husband's purebred, and I'm not
Yeah.
that person," which
she's
is
like,
kind
"Well,
of
don't bring back Nightmare Family. We don't want that, or Nightmare,
Yeah.
whatever it was
collective.
called." Yeah.
My only issue with this segment is not a fan of using animals.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Oh, we're just at
Yeah,
the
we're-
promo.
we're-
We're-
Oh,
we're-
sorry,
we're at the
sorry.
Brandy promo.
Let's just jump forward here.
Are you
Yeah,
calling
sorry,
Brandy an animal?
Arthur,
Racist?
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God,
racist.
Tony.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
This has been an
well,
interesting.
we just got
episode.
canceled. 61 episodes, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. It's been real.
Glad I was in person for this.
Yeah.
We couldn't hold off Tony's racism any longer. Yeah, to
I'm
let
like
it out,
Jerry
you
the
couldn't
King
stop.
Lawler. All right, go ahead.
Lance Archer
Get to
squashed
listen to last
QT
episode.
Marshall, and then after the match, Brandy's coming out to ringside, and Britt Baker jumps the rail, DDTs her. Nice touch with a DDT there.
Yeah, because Brandy stole
rolls
her
her-
shoe and threw it.
Yeah.
That she was gonna
And
hit.
she's wearing her
QT
awesome new
Marshall.
Kiss shirt.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And then she rolls Brandy into the ring, and then as Tony
tries
was
to
kind of
roll
alluding
Randy in
to-
the ring. It was a very
Yeah. Jake Roberts
It
comes
was
in
great,
with
though,
a
that ash shot.
Jake Roberts comes in with not Damien,
Yeah.
and kind of goes over.
They said it was
Lee-
Damien though. They're like, it's the snake he's been using all
Yeah.
these
They
years.
should definitely run with
Earthquake
not Damien.
killed
That was
Damien,
funny.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Earthquake
Earthquake killed
And then he
Damien,
had
it's not
revelations when he was Jesus, Jake Roberts.
Yeah. And then you had Lucifer when he was bad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Lucifer was the Cobra.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had Jake kind of hover over Brandy, like doing pelvic thrusts on her, and then
her.
putting the snake on her.
Which I didn't mind. I didn't care.
I like how they said too. They're trying to justify the reason why Cody couldn't get there is because the locker rooms were so far away, and they had to keep being like, see, we weren't lying. There's the cart that drives them back and forth. Like it was.
They should have just cut the Cody running.
Nothing like an old white guy standing over a black female playing with his snake.
Yeah.
Not good.
Now
Not a
you're
good
talking
image.
my language, Austin.
Yeah. A lot of people won't be in that position.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I didn't mind
It's gonna
it.
be Tyler in another 30 years.
It's just a bad PR look.
Shit, that's me right now.
Except you didn't pass out.
Exactly. If you would have blacked out, you would have pulled a Tyler straight up.
The only thing listen.
A bunch of years from now, Tyler comes up and says, "You want to play 21?"
Yeah, exactly.
Are you?
Exactly.
What did he say? Are you a mouse? Then meep or something like
Are
that.
you
or-
a man or are you a mouse or something like that?
and then he chirp or something like that. He said something really weird.
Chirp, chirp is a fucking bird.
I don't know. He didn't make sense when he said it, but it was funny. But yeah, the only thing I have a problem with is the snake. He was like, I just felt rough with it. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: because snakes aren't cute, do you think anyone cares?
I think they're gonna.
If it was a
The animal
dog,
rights people care about everything.
They're gonna get a letter. Listen, when they did the thing with the dog with the pyro and the dog freaked the fuck out.
but dogs are nice and cuddly, and people don't like snakes.
It's
I
a
don't like
puppy.
snakes, but I still don't like. So here's the thing: people know I don't like snakes. So
Yeah.
the main thing I always get, like, when I'd be with friends and we'd be out like playing or we'd be in the woods or anything like that, somebody would find a snake and fucking throw it.
Oh God!
And of course, I don't want a
Would you
snake.
have a heart attack like Andre the Giant?
yeah,
I don't want a snake thrown on me, but then also,
does?
but also then I think of the fucking snake who now has been picked up by some random fucking thing and then thrown through the air
It's
to
been
just.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, well, what the fuck, dude? Like, you had to, like, that's still a thing.
Bro, I'm a snake. I didn't ask for this.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know. Like, just
Yeah.
because it's a snake and it's a scary creature, like, people have to be rough and, like,
Yeah.
throw it on people. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm, like, a weird animals guy. Like, I don't want to be an animal rights guy, but, like.
WWF.
But, yeah, but I don't know. I'm not into that. Like, here's the thing. And, like, I know we said, like, they don't bite, but, like, if a snake is threatened or it's not liking what's happening, even though it is a boa constrictor, it will still strike to defend itself.
I don't think they strike at all. Actually,
Really?
That's why
The
he uses them. Yeah,
pythons don't strike.
yeah. They coil and they choke you or squish you. to
Well,
death.
that's still a hazard then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can still, yeah.
That's still a
like,
definite
you ever
hazard.
see like sometimes it
I
would start
feel like a
crawling
python
around.
That's
will
why Jake
still
moved,
bite you.
that's why Jake was moving it around a lot too, because it's to stop it from doing that.
Yeah,
I'm going to Google this. Will a
I'm
python
pretty
bite?
sure that's why Jake always used them, because they do not bite. Like,
Right, until he had the cobra, which was supposed to bite, and it bit Randy Savage.
Yeah, but it wouldn't bite Jake Crop or Sting.
Or no,
Oh, he wouldn't bite. Yeah, he
wouldn't
wouldn't bite him. He's like trying to. Oh, that's a funny segment. If you ever go back and
There's
watch
the
So
old story
they
that
don't
before that match,
they don't typically attack humans, but they will bite if they feel threatened or mistaken a hand for food.
it. Oh, okay.
So so they do coil and they do wrap around if they're going to eat, but they still will strike if feel threatened or based on circumstances.
So it's like a cat. If like a cat feels threatened, they'll swing their paw.
Yeah, or
Even
a
if,
dog,
like, yeah.
yeah.
No,
That's their only
now,
line
if
of
they want to
defense.
step on a cat, I'll be fine with that.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Wow, dude.
That's worse.
I'm not a fan of cats either.
This
but-
has been the weirdest
I hate cats.
episode.
I hate cats.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was the only thing about it that got me, and then how he acted like he was going to throw it in the front row and everybody. I don't know. I just don't
for
like when
years.
people don't when they don't when they
Never,
use animals like that.
never, ever read what they used to do to the animals in WWF in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jake's
Those animals were not treated well.
Yeah,
or what
Jake-
circus people do.
Jake
Like,
even said back in the day, he's like, I didn't feed those fucking things. Sometimes I'd wake up in the morning and it's in my hotel tub and it would be dead, and I'd be like, hey, the snake's dead, and they'd bring me a new one. Like, he's like, those things were not fucking treated good. And he goes,
Can you imagine like when Bulldog had the dog Matilda, like taking a dog with you to hotels and stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's not a good life for a dog.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's the whole Jake the Snake story is on Joe Rogan's podcast. If you want to go listen to the Macho Man story and how his just how terrible snakes were treated.
Brush the hell out of them.
Yeah, yeah, just,
Earthquakes, I don't want.
yeah. So I don't know. Just keep
That was hamburger meat in a stocking.
Yeah, that's what they said that was.
yeah. So just keep animals out of it. Just-
Quake burgers.
No more like we get you or Jake the Snake, but don't bring any more snakes out.
Especially after like the fake spider thing with Rowan. Like we just don't need
well,
animals
that
in
was-
wrestling.
That was horrible. Well, this is a little better than that because that was absolutely horrible. And they got fired.
Yeah.
And then Drew McIntyre killed it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, he did. He hit it with the steels.
killed the cyborg spider.
Uh-huh.
And then the guy gets fired. What a life.
Man.
Yeah, killed his pet spider and then he gets fired.
He sucked anyway.
They like physically killed him off then.
Yeah.
Like, with that whole segment.
Yeah, so
He should have came out and Boneyard match. Undertaker just killed him.
yeah.
He just runs out and Undertaker stabs him.
He's in Styles' grave
That's what they
already.
should have did. Everyone that got released should have died in that match.
Yeah, they should have just that should like what
Kill him off like a
an
TV
impact,
show.
An Impact where they stabbed and they killed the one girl. That
Yeah,
was-
they,
Yeah, Allie.
when
they
they
killed Allie and then she went to
killed a
AEW.
few.
They slit her throat.
What is she still
Mickey
in?
James.
Whatever
Mickey
happened to
James
Allie?
got pushed in front of a train
Yeah. The one guy in
by
Lucha
James Storm.
Underground had his heart ripped out. I forget who that was. Wait, wasn't Allie in AEW? Oh wait, she's
she's,
Butcher
she's
and the
a
Blade.
bunny.
Yeah, forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
forgot all about that. She's not a very good wrestler though, so that's okay.
I've never seen her wrestle.
It's okay at best.
I
It's
saw
better
her,
than anything I
was
could
at,
do.
You know?
I was at that Global Force show they did in Harrisburg, like way back when, like
Okay.
2014, whenever that was. And she was still Cherry Bomb back then, and she wrestled Kimberly on that thing.
Oh wow, Kimberly disappeared because she went super nutty. In
She's
the Animal Rights.
where did she just turn up?
Oh, really?
Impact, I think.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Wow, because she got really weird and like crazy, and
I think I did see that, like her showing up in Impact.
you know who resurfaced and said he's sorry? They said that ACH. Remember how he's called?
Yeah,
it?
I did see that.
Jordan Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that he's sorry he did that and he was in a bad place. Like,
I feel
no
like-
shit.
Yeah, and they even tried to be like, "Hey, you're not in a good place. You should calm down."
Yeah, fuck you.
And he's like, "Fuck you all." I'll
I
fucking...
don't need wrestling. Fuck wrestling.
Yeah.
Like part of what he was saying, or like in general, the core of what he was saying was true.
Yeah,
like
then
I
he just
believed
went
it,
way
and then
over
he
edge.
was like, you can tell he was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
It was just like the last.
And they were
thing.
even saying like he's not in a good spot. We're trying to really work with him.
Yeah,
and it was
nobody
just-
would.
Yeah.
He didn't want help.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Kimberly is in Impact now.
Oh, wow,
I
how
double
about
checked
that?
it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Like,
let's
she literally debuted this week.
let's wrap up there. Just real quick. Show of the week. What are you going with?
We had a few more things. We had a few
Oh,
more
I'm sorry.
things left for AEW.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We had they did the Taz
forgot.
Darby Allin thing where Taz is like saying trying to give Allin advice and Darby Allin walks off. They
really
announced
get
some
that.
things for next week.
Yeah.
Next week they're gonna have Brody Lee against Christopher Daniels. MJF is back. Jurassic Express versus Best Friends. Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, and Penelope Ford in a 4-way. Jake Roberts and Lance Archer will be speaking, and then Chris Jericho against no longer Shug D. He is now officially Pineapple Pete.
Which is for the best because that got over.
And he took a swing at him when he came out.
Yeah, to set up that match. As soon as they said Chris Jericho next week, I'm like, he's wrestling Pineapple Pete.
Yeah.
Because like he kept talking about him, and he's
Yeah.
like, you know, Jericho's building this guy's career, even though like he was somewhat known in Jakara and everything. And I was like, once he started calling Pineapple Pete, like he has to use that.
Yeah.
And apparently he has a shirt now, a Pineapple Pete shirt, so like he's going.
It's so
full-
much more marketable.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the Shug D's a stupid name. I'm sure. Jericho said, "Hey, well, you should use this." And
Absolutely.
if Jericho tells me to use it, I'm like, okay. So I mean, good for.
He's like,
Pineapple
listen,
Pete.
I love the pitch up. Just knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then our last match of the night was the street fight. Correct.
Yeah, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara defeating
Sex
Matt
Gods.
Hardy
The
and
Sex
Kenny
Gods.
Omega.
The Sex Gods.
The Sex Gods
The Sex
winning
Gods.
against
I thought-
Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega. And,
Dude, when that cart hit Sammy Guevara on the head, holy shit.
I thought this
was
match
that
was
brutal.
great.
I thought it was good.
Fun thing
It
about
was,
this match is Sammy Guevara, Jericho, Chris Jericho all came out in or like pads, like pants with
Yeah,
outside,
like- yeah, street
with the-
fight gear.
Yeah, like street fight gear with the outside
yeah,
knee
it was a
pads.
bunkhouse stampede.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Except for Matt Hardy, but he kept changing. He was '90s Matt Hardy, and then finally he was like Broken Matt, and
And then he came to Damascus
Yeah.
when he got thrown in the water. In the
the
ice
ice.
cooler.
And I like how he hit him with a bag of ice. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
The moonsault that
I need you to document
Yeah.
these events.
Oh, that was hilarious.
And he's like, "You're on TV, Matt. That's the whole point of this."
the moonsault that
On the
Kenny
scissor lift.
hit,
Beautiful.
I legitimately,
Yeah,
and I'm
beautiful.
not kidding, was so scared that I actually farted. Like I almost actually shit myself.
Like he did it, it goes up. I'm like, this is insane.
It was
I
was
think the
so.
picture up. Like he's gonna give him Angel's wings on the ground. No way.
Yeah, it was so beautiful.
I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, it was fun. And then obviously,
If-
Jake Hager's gonna get involved.
I think
and stuff.
the inner
Yeah.
circle as the goofball heels is perfect. And
Yeah.
they're finally working.
It
all
fits
these
Yeah,
for
they're,
all
they're
of
starting
them.
to find their stride.
And they
And if you like this match, then check out DDT in Japan
Absolutely.
because Kenny Omega even said and they said DDT style wrestling wouldn't work.
Yeah,
This is textbook DDT.
Yeah.
They fight in water parks. They fight in malls. They fight everywhere
apartments.
in DDT.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what was the meme someone put where
Well,
it
Jericho
said,
or Kenny posted is the one where he's pointing when Matt Hardy's driving the golf cart and Sammy's running. And he's like, "This is meme worthy" or something, and it became a meme.
someone put a meme where Guevara is the human race, Kenny Omega is coronavirus,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and Matt Hardy is killer wasps.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them I see.
It's like
Somebody
2020
has-
me.
There's one on Twitter where they basically have turned it into Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
I see one of those Herb Abrams, and he's running from Coke and hookers.
Topical.
He'll be running to the Coke and Hookers.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, man. Guevara, like I said, every week I see him and he wins me over more and more. He's fucking fantastic.
He is. And he's in a good spot to
yeah.
be
Jericho's
fantastic.
it's doing wonders for his career. Now he's
Then-
gonna help Pineapple Pete.
Then that ending sequence with the inner circle all whipping the camera off. And
Yeah.
then on the Titantron. On
says inner circle.
It says inner circle on the thing.
That was very good. That was very good cinematography for wrestling, right
Yeah,
there.
placement, whatever
Yeah.
you want to say.
You kind of caught something there.
Yeah, so I actually saw this from Matthew, the dude who does Botchamania.
Okay.
He tweeted like the clip of once it goes off air and it goes dark. It was something like you fucking nailed it, and it says it 3 times as it's going off. And I think the show went off early, but from like an actor perspective, when I was in like drama and stuff, this is such a lame perspective to bring up. But we were always told like you keep, and it's like the same thing when you're selling a match, like you sell until you're off screen completely,
until you know.
and it's like when you're mic'd like that, you
Every
don't
mic is hot.
yeah, exactly. You don't say something like that until you absolutely know you're off air.
Well, if you actually look, the only person that was part of the inner circle that kind of almost ruined that segment because it was like he kind of had a fan moment where he knew the pose and then he looked back at the Tron like, oh shit, this is happening. Jake Hager.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yeah, Jake Hager was like, oh my god, and he's like, this is so sweet.
He's
Yeah.
playing his role perfectly.
Yeah,
I'm
he also
liking
gives
him
the
more.
finger weird. I don't like the people that stick their thumb out.
Oh,
when
like
they give him
McMahon.
the
Remember he did that?
Yeah, that's
Vince?
so annoying.
Yeah.
It's like this, like that.
finger. Like
Yeah,
where
like
they
that.
have
I
like the
can't.
other
It's
fingers
hard
near
to
it.
do that.
What is worse, Vince McMahon's middle finger or Orange Cassidy's thumbs up?
Oh,
Like
the middle finger by far. The thumbs up is like at least he's doing that.
the
on
thumbs
purpose.
up though is at the same level because Vince doesn't
just
even fully bend. All right, so if you're looking at your finger and right where the nail hits your first knuckle, somehow Vince McMahon
Yeah,
can
it
bend
was like-
just that knuckle and then does the middle
was like
finger,
that.
where
I
it's
was
like
like-
it's almost like his full fingers are extended.
It's the weirdest.
We
middle
gotta
finger.
Google Vince McMahon's middle finger. It's the worst of all time.
Just like post it as one of the Instagram pics for this week.
Yeah.
Just Vince McMahon's finger.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon's finger. middle
I
finger.
thought AEW was a pretty good show. Nothing blow away, but the street fight was really good.
It like the show paced itself to build up to the
Yeah.
main event, and the main event was really good.
I would.
The
I
Street
would
Fighter tag team match was the best match of both shows, I think.
look how bad his middle finger is.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even like put his fingers down. He like
Yeah.
leaves. He just they're so.
The
weird.
only other match that I would counter with that, legitimately to me, was Dijakovic and Gargano. I really liked that match.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I thought Charlotte and Neo was good, but I think the street fight was the best. It was just so fun and so wild.
Right,
And
absolutely.
I love DDT anyway, and this was a DDT match, so I was all about it.
Yeah,
Where it's wacky, but it still makes sense.
Yeah.
AEW wins this week for me.
Not no. Do we know the ratings?
AEW won
Yeah,
by
okay.
about
AEW
100,000.
won. Yeah, it was like I think 733. I think 733 for AEW and 663 for NXT
So
or
it's
something
not
like that.
real. It's
And
not like
that's
a
with
slaughter
both
or
titles
anything.
on the line, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
they had a big card on NXT.
But again, it's the empty arena matches. A lot of people just tune it out.
Yeah,
And just in general, what's the demographic for USA Network?
I don't know.
Whereas TNT, it's a sports-related show. People are tuning into that
I
regardless.
would say the
But
demographic for USA is
yeah.
a little like older. Like let's say 35
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
55 around there.
well, the same
Yeah.
token is USA Network Raw has its lowest ratings of all time and still drew a million and a half.
yeah, I'm just saying. I don't
I
think.
mean,
and
a million and a half is bad though.
Yeah,
I know,
that's not
but I
very
mean,
good.
but AEW at its highest is hitting 800,000.
That's
In the
true.
first week they were 1.4 million, and then
Yeah.
from there it's. I think they've only broken a million a few times since.
Yeah,
then.
Yeah, like
so,
a couple times.
So even at Raw's lowest, it's still better than some of their best.
Well, yeah, that's why WWE put NXT in competition with AEW and not Raw. Like they know like that's the level they're at.
Yeah.
But it would also give them a reason to like make Raw better. But why would they do that?
Yeah.
I like Raw.
Well, they're also never going to move Raw off of Monday. Raw is Monday.
Just think TNA used to get those type of ratings.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap up there. Tyler, what do you got to plug?
Witness for Wrestling on Facebook and their tornado tag Facebook group as well. I'll be posting both of my stories.
What did you do?
Both.
What did you do to get banned?
I was arguing with a guy over the Convoy 19 shit. He was making some personal shots, saying that like all this personal shit. So I was like, dude, I just kind of went ham on him, and then he reported me.
Listen, you gotta be careful because when you get reported,
I know.
You're fucking up the team here. You're part of the team.
I know. I can't post or anything. That I know it's ridiculous.
That's when you make a second account. That's slightly different.
I know.
You just pulled a Dennis Rodman and kicked the cameraman in the dick on us.
I know. I just went to Vegas for fucking 48 hours.
Bryan, what do you got?
Same thing I was Murder My Dude. This week we dropped episode 63. It's all about the Yorkshire Ripper. We also talked a little bit about murder hornets. We did something a little bit different. We were actually drinking a little during this episode. Not like a lot, but we I hit the LCB lottery this week, so I'm flush with liquor right now.
Nice.
That's funny.
Not a bad
liquor or beer.
Liquor.
Nice.
I hit the State Store lottery. We were drinking Crown Royal Apple and during the show, and I've been slowly sipping Jameson this episode.
And not the former manager of the Bushwhacker.
No, the Irish whiskey.
Andy, what do you got?
You can get blue and gold shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees if you want. There's
Always.
two designs.
Team blue and gold.
Yeah, search for that, and that's about it. Doing the podcast here, but
not cool high school.
Yeah.
Austin.
I got Farlow's as per usual.
We're
back open. Our hours right now are like 11 to 4 Tuesday through Saturday. Curbside pickup only.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Cash
you
only.
Call.
Cash only. Yeah.
Call to an order.
So you call. We'll give you your total, and we'll give you a time for when, we'll have your order ready. Mm-hmm. And then you call again with the time that we gave you.
Oh, like I'm here.
And then we'll come out, we'll bring the sandwiches to you. And that way, since we told you the price in advance, that way you can have as close to exact change.
Yeah,
we don't have to exchange as
Tip.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say that, but I appreciate it.
That's what I did.
And then no rain checks. It's kind of tough right now. Not a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
But we do have some music in development.
Well, that's cool. Max posted that video playing Highway Star. That's what he's just shredding on that
He's
song.
so good.
Yeah.
He's a phenom. I shared it.
He's pushing me to be better. Like
That's good.
right now while I'm home, honestly, him and Josh are both huge inspirations to me right now. So I'm trying to get better.
Well, there is a thing that we're doing for Bangin' Beers. It's not going to take place until another 2 weeks, but we are changing Bangin' Beers intro music from Faith in Exile to Ultra Violent.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to change it to...
CZW.
Yeah.
I know those guys, Danny Corey.
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Brett.
So we are...
CG.
The invitation is open to change the music for all of our shows. That being said, all the bands who have been our No Rain Checks and Look Alive and Faith in Exile, we really, really thank you guys. If no one puts in a bid for a song, I heard the Ultra Violent, I was like, oh, it's kind of heavy. I think that we should stick with the heavy theme for Bangin' Beers.
Right.
I may be getting a hip hop style song when it comes to Bros on the Warpath by a guy from Harrisburg that moved to Atlanta, and he's a huge
I was
Reds.
gonna say, what if it's a song rapping about?
Hotlanta.
He actually said he's going to record something that is Redskins related.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because he is a Redskins fan, so I think we're going with that. So with that being said,
It's going to be called number one pick.
yeah. Listen, man, season's got to happen
on the
eventually.
clock.
It's actually going to happen eventually. Season's got to happen.
I'm a little scared because those early games, and they're playing the Eagles week 1, and those early games are going to be empty stadium probably, and the Redskins have a lot of experience in that, so I'm a little worried.
You should be, and we have a pretty good pass rush. So, and you have
if anybody knows how to play in front of no crowd, it's the Washington Redskins.
Yep. And you have a quarterback made of fiberglass, so and we have a pretty decent pass rush coming for you this year. But don't worry, your best receiver just got drafted by the Cowboys, so you're good to go.
Yeah, I know.
We're shooting from the hip, brother.
I have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, and he's like, you guys are speaking gibberish.
CD Lamb.
Yeah, so anyway, so if we do change the songs, I just definitely want to say, thank you guys so much for the music, because it was awesome. But that's what we want to do. We kind of want to give every other local band or our upcoming artist a shot at the intro music. I do remember, I'm not taking credit, not at all, but I do remember, Clash of Titans wasn't very high on the playlist,
Right.
And then when we used it as intro music, then more people heard it, and it got a little more plays.
And we got a performance out of it. Like we showed once after it went on Tornado Tag, we started incorporating like a wrestling theme into
Yes.
it. So we were doing intros. I was the Baconator, Max
Yeah.
was whatever, and I was super kicking them at the beginning.
Yep.
And honestly, no, we are super grateful.
Yeah, and even like Snowblind.
Yeah.
Snowblind wasn't Look Alive's #1 song that was played, and it became their top song. Was it because of the podcast?
miss those guys.
Who knows? But it
didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think we do a really good job every single time we post a new episode saying intro music by this band and tagging the band, and when you look at the video, you can click on the links and go right to the band's pages. So that's the goal, is we want to get the bands over. I can easily go on YouTube and get royalty free music and go that route and just keep it and set it, forget it. But it is something I want to do, and I want to put people over. So it is something that we try to do. So will No Rain Checks be an intro music again? Probably.
Will we try to write something to maybe freshen it up?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So we are looking for new intro music. So if you are someone who wants to throw your name in the hat, shoot me a message and we'll figure it out.
Hopefully it's a Tornado Tag hat. If we
Yeah.
get those next two sales.
Yeah. Get those sales going. Let's get it going.
Let's get those hats.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, you can go on there and just order a sticker. It doesn't really matter what you order, so you don't have to spend a lot of money just putting it out there. But anyway, that'll wrap it up for Tornado Tag podcast this week. We went long. This is a 2 hour and 25 minutes.
If you ever see the podcast Between the Sheets, they do 5 and 6 hours.
Really?
Hey, people,
That's why I can't stand-
people are sitting
fans.
inside.
Oh my god, the Labs fan. Holy crap.
I'll tell you what though, I have a few people, like the PPW guys, love when they're longer. Like they like the longer shows.
A lot of people listen when they're driving or something,
Yeah.
or when they're doing stuff around the house.
Lots of free time right now. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see a podcast that's like 40 minutes. I'm like, 40 minutes, man.
Yeah, that ain't shit.
Yeah.
Some of my interviews have been really short. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, sometimes you're limited.
Well,
with
no.
the,
Here's the thing. I'm
the
not,
substance.
This is
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe I'm shooting a little here, and I probably shouldn't do this. But at the end of the day, I don't know how much longer interviews with everyday people is going to be a thing.
Well, you take a break. You always come back.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be completely. I'm pulling a Jack here, where I just kind of shoot from the hip. I like it. But but like
Perfect place for it.
But like right at the end when probably everyone's gone by now.
So you have listened to this week's episode.
I did. The thing that kind of annoys me is when someone contacts me and they say they want to do the show.
Yeah.
And then I was like, cool, awesome. And they're like, yeah. And I then we get ready to record, and I'm like, so what do you want to talk about? And they're like, well, I don't know. That's your job. And I was like, have you listened to any of our shows yet? And they say no. And I was like, why would you agree to do? What if I was just like what if I was like old school Howard Stern, and I'm like, so how big are your tits? You know what I mean? Like I could literally, and then you're already
Very
on
big.
the spot, and then I already have you on recording and just like,
It's insulting to you.
yeah, and so like you don't know what you're really getting into, but you're doing it because this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I grind really hard when it comes to my social media game, and I definitely probably annoy people with my posts, and that's fine because I feel like I work really hard at what I do, and I think promoting helps. For every 3 people I annoy, there's 4 people who are like, oh shit, what's this? You know what I mean? Because you never know who's going to see it at what time. That's just the way social media works.
Especially like Facebook.
Yeah.
The algorithm on Facebook is ridiculous.
Some people have less friends or more friends, and they see things at different times.
At different times. So, if you post maybe once or twice a week, or you kick it up to 3 or 4, you have more opportunities for more people to see stuff.
Right.
So I think what people think is they see the podcast, they see it has 3,000 viewers, and for the most part, I'm really not getting people that come on this show anymore that tell their personal stories, which I'm fine with. I don't pride to get people to tell personal information.
But that was just like the core of how it started.
Yeah, that's what I would like to kind of, so people can hear other people's stories and realize there is hope if you can go through some things and come out the other end.
Absolutely.
But it turned into more or less like I'm a band, or I'm a singer, or I have a business, or I have something I want to promote.
Yeah.
So then this is me not talking shit, and just coming from, a place where I feel like I'm a little slighted a little bit, where I think people come on thinking, oh, well, if I'm on his show, I'll reap the benefits, and then it comes down to your end where all I want you to do is just share that you were on it.
Yeah.
Or listen to what you're going to be on before you do it.
Absolutely.
And you're just like, no, I'm just going to kind of clout chase and jump on something that's already established, you know? So it's just like, well, do I want to keep booking 100 interviews and really taking time out of my day and away from my wife and away from podcasts where I'm with friends? Because so interviews, I'm alone, you know what I mean? And it's fun, and I am meeting people, but I'm not meeting people who legit want to talk to me. I'm meeting people who just want to possibly get their thing out there,
Right.
but they don't want to take at least 3 seconds out of their day to promote the podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
Even though it's the podcast that they wanted to be on.
yeah.
No, I understand.
Or they show up and they're like, so what are you going to ask me? Well, listen to the podcast. You are pretty much in control of the conversation, and then I ask questions based on what you were already talking about.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Sorry for how much you are watching my social media. I'm not watching yours.
Yeah.
There's times where I didn't even know anything about the person until we sat down and talked, because that's my style. I'm not researching you. I'm not digging for you. I'm not interviewing. I'm not messaging people that are your friends and family and say what dirt you have on them so I can ask. That's not my style. I could do
Nardwuar.
that. I could do
if
that.
you're familiar.
Yeah, you know, I could do that, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I want to come in like, especially if you're a band. If you're a band, there may be times where I don't listen to your band or your podcast before you come on my show. It's your job to sell me on the podcast,
Right.
You know what I mean?
You just want to hear people's stories.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I get that.
So I think what I'm going to do is I have a few people I have to reschedule that I had booked that it didn't come through. It didn't go through because I had everyone booked and I was supposed to go back to work, and then I went back to work and it didn't work out, and then I got laid off again. So everyone I had booked for that week, I had to reschedule.
Right.
I want to reschedule them for next week, but the whole Governor Wolf thing, where supposedly he's trying to start everything up by Monday.
Yeah, well, some things.
Yeah, so I don't know where we lie, so I'm
Yeah.
not booking anyone for next week until I find out if I'm going to be off work for the week or not. Like, until I
Yeah.
find out what's going on.
Maybe book people, like, not so much bands, but people that are like if you interviewed some guy to start his own craft beer thing, or he has a lot to talk about.
Well, that's where instead of doing like interviewing a wrestler and putting out interviews with everyday people, most people who listen to interviews with everyday people probably don't give a shit about your history story of your wrestling.
Yeah.
But people who listen to Tornado Tag might. So that's why I'm like, I can interview a business who does like a bar or but I think I should cater that interview to banging beers.
But like, I'm just saying, that was an example. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm starting my own photography thing, but I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So like, like that, something like that.
But you'd be shocked at the people who have something to talk about, and then they come on and they literally can give me 3 minutes of the conversation of their business.
Here's the thing I learned over the years: 80% people are basic and have nothing to talk about.
It's possible, but
and they just live life, and they like,
Yeah.
like, well, what do you like on TV? Oh, whatever's on.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's
Dude,
not a good interview.
Dude, you should, like, some of the interviews I'm like, so what are you into? And they're like, nothing.
I just sit down.
What are you here for?
Brick wall.
Yeah.
It's a literal brick wall.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, a lot of people are basic, and they're vapid, empty shells.
No, the thing is they don't listen to podcasts, and they have no idea the structure of the show they're coming into, and they're banking on me to know everything about you.
But then on top of that,
because they think they're famous.
But on top of that, they're not interesting.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? They're just boring people.
So it's I think after I finish this round, I think interviews going to take a pretty big break because I have enough content to get me into like July, August range.
Mm-hmm.
And then if people really, really legit want to do the show, it's still there. And if you message me, and I will probably book you and do an episode, but I'm not going out of my way to try to book everyone for every single Monday so I can have I'm just not doing it. It's just draining to me, and it's really not.
And if it's not good content,
it's like, I don't know. There's some interviews that I'm just not super proud of, and then some I'm really, really proud of, and then no one ever heard them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so either people just didn't tune into them because maybe they thought the last one was just, like, not every episode's going to be a home run, and I'm aware of that, But
still, it's like the idea isn't necessarily for the episodes to be good or not. It's just like for people to get their stories out.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I put all the work in, and then you as the person who you're on the show don't even share that you were on.
Yeah, they share.
It's like fucked up, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna really focus on the other shows because I'm having a good time with them, and I like hanging out with you guys and doing the podcast, and that's becoming more fun to me than the interviews.
Well, plus, if you're not getting along with them, you can't get a good rap going with them.
Yeah,
you know? And if you don't know them too, it's hard.
Dude. It's like getting blood out of a stone sometimes.
Well, even Howard Stern has bad interviews when the person is nothing to say. When that person is a bad interviewee.
Yeah,
there's just not much you can do.
Yeah,
nice little shoot from the hip.
Yeah, well, fuck it. People are probably gonna get pissed about it, but what can you do?
Loved
and the
it.
following people that have bad interviews are.
Yeah.
In descending order.
No rain checks, number one.
No, I had fun with you guys. But
I missed the second one we did, and it vanished
yeah,
forever.
Yeah, it fucking sucked. I got to reschedule that one. All right, well, that'll wrap it up for Tornado Tech Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. And check out on Tuesday when we do our interview, when the interview drops with the guys from High Tension Wrestling.